So we are going to call this broker. I had this lead pop up from one of my SubTo students. This is a lead I'm actually calling a broker. So if I, the buyer, am calling the broker directly, that means that this is not a bird dog deal. And I'll explain that to you guys a little bit later. I know nothing about who I'm calling. I don't even know the address of the lead. So we're going to learn a lot of stuff together here. Hey, is this Landon? Hey, brother, this is Pace. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Hey, one of my partners I bought a bunch of real estate with, Myron Briley, said you guys were chatting about an RV park that you have for sale.
Yeah, I was supposed to talk to him like right now, and I just called him. Yeah, we're talking about two, I think.
Okay, sweet. I think he was emailing me back and forth. I was on the river fishing today, and maybe I miscommunicated that he was going to call you and then like three-way me in. Did he say he was going to call you or I was going to call you?
Just got a call coming in at 7, but we can chat.
Okay, cool. Let's just keep it with me and you. So catch me up to speed. What's going on? I think there's 2 RV parks, correct?
Yeah, there's 2 that are offering some interesting filler financing. One's going to require a lot more creativity, but that's kind of your specialty. So
okay.
The first one, it's much better market. It's in Anna, Texas. It's called Cedar Meadow. It's got 108 spaces. Kind of a sad story why they're having to sell it. They've got some health issues and some unrealistic pricing expectations right now.
Okay.
It's a 7.5, which is, I want to say 70 a space. Based on last year's numbers, it's at the ballpark of a 5.5 cap. It should trade closer to a 7.5. They are slowly coming to terms with reality of pricing. They're not sophisticated folks. They're not wheeler dealers. They're just mom and pop sweet people. And it's taken them getting a little bit beat up by the market to understand that the pricing expectations are not in line. So
okay.
30 days ago, if we were talking, they were only going to do a cash deal. We're not entertaining any seller financing. Just this last week, they came back and said, okay, we'll do some seller financing. Here are the terms we'd like to see. They'd like to see $2 million down, 5.5% interest, 5-year balloon. They didn't give me an amortization timeline, but I pushed for a 30. I still don't think it's going to pencil at the asking price of 7.5, but that can get you pretty close. Truthfully, I think this one trades somewhere between 6.5 and a 7, depending on the financing terms you put together.
Okay.
Have you looked over the OM already?
I haven't. He literally got me looped in today via email, so I didn't even know the name of the RV park until right now. But which is fine. The way I typically operate anyways, I'm like, okay, does the structure work? Can I make it work financially? And then I kind of reverse engineer into the OM, which is usually backwards. Like when we're doing our multifamily deal in my fund, my acquisition manager will go into the OM first and then structure the deal. But this would be for my personal portfolio. So I wouldn't raise capital. I wouldn't syndicate it. And so I would start with the structure, then reverse engineer into the OM. Dude, first and foremost, I freaking love that you have all this information. Do you know how many brokers do not have any of this information?
Yeah, it's the only reason. So I've been in this business for 10 years and I jumped over into the RV and mobile home spark space because of how bad I thought all the brokers were.
Dude, you are going to freaking clean house in that part of the industry, dude. Like every broker I talk to just they have no clue what they're doing. This is awesome. I love talking to you. Okay. So here, like the second you told me $2 million down, I immediately started thinking about doing it as what I call a Morby method. I started doing it in probably like the early 2000s where I go to like a Marcus and Millichap, I go secure a $2 million or a $3 million loan, and then I ask the seller to carry the remaining balance. That's basically what they're asking. They're saying, give us $2 million down, we'll carry the remaining $5.5 million. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's also worth noting that these guys have 3.2 in debt, so they're going to have to come out of pocket under that structure $1.2 million to close, which is not really appealing, but it goes to show their motivation to get out of this.
Okay, so what if I come to the table with $3.2 million down, and then they carry the remaining balance with no payments for like 2 or 3 years, so I can stabilize, raise the revenue, all that kind of stuff? Would they be interested in that if they didn't have to come out of pocket $1.2 million?
I can't speak for them. I'll put anything in front of them. As long as I understand the deal structure, I can explain it to them and get you feedback really quick.
Okay, cool. So here's what I would do in this structure. I would go to Jamie Litzler, my rep at Marcus and Millichap. I would send him all the numbers on the RV park. He'd go through the OM. He'd go through everything. And then he would tell me what he would give me in terms of a loan. I would go and secure a loan. That loan essentially would be the down payment to your seller. whatever Marcus and Millichaps wants me to bring to the table as a down payment. So let's say, well, they want 7.5 million, right?
Yeah, 7.5.
Okay. So let's say that Marcus and Millichap will give me 4 million. Okay. I would come to the table with $4 million, and then I would go and raise transactional funding for the $3.5 million. And I would fund the transaction as a cash transaction, close it all the way out completely. And then I would ask the sellers to kick back that $3.5 million to my private money lenders and carry that 3.5 for like 24 to 36 months until I could maybe get it at a higher cap, refinance them all the way out in a couple of years. That's probably the structure I would throw at them for that particular deal.
Interesting.
Because if they're not coming out of the pocket $1.2 million, let's say I give them $2 million up front, they have 3.2 million in debt. They're currently under that structure going to pay your commissions, and they're going to have to come out of pocket $1.2 million to pay off that remaining loan. I mean, hell, we could also just do a SubTo deal. Why don't they just let me take over the $3.2 million in debt?
You know the terms of the loan. It might be construction debt. I don't know
Okay.
long term.
Makes sense.
Consumable, but I'll check on that. Their goal, and the reason I don't know that is their goal has always been to get out of that. So
Okay,
I haven't really explored it, but I can do that.
Okay, so let's say option one, let's say Pace wants to take over the $3.2 million subject to, and then I could even start making some payments on their remaining equity. I can pay your commissions out of my pocket and closing costs. So they basically walk away with no money out of pocket and your commissions are paid. Okay. Let's say that's option one, and I'll write this all down. Option two would be I go get a loan for 4 million. They carry the other remaining $3.5 million. And that carry would probably be a minimum of 3 years. And I would prefer no payments on that 3 years because they're going to actually pay off the 3.2 plus get $800,000 in their pocket under that structure. And if they could give me no payments, I could probably get up to a higher purchase price because pretty obvious, right? I'm not having to go and raise the full 7.5 million.
Full payment in 3 years?
I don't know the numbers on my loan yet, but let's just say between 3 to 5 years.
5 would be standard, right? 3 would be preferable. These folks, it's health issues, so the sooner the better.
Totally makes sense.
Not do pressure on anybody, but if you can move any levers in one way or the other, shorter would be better for these guys.
Okay, cool. And so that's structure number one. That's the one on Cedar Meadow. What's the other one?
This one's interesting. I think that I'm actually excited to get your thoughts on this one. So this is a 104 space park in Kemp, Texas, which is just off of Cedar Creek Lake. Okay. Class A, very nice, well amenitized, concrete roads, asphalt pads. And it was kind of just a pet project for this couple during COVID. She's a very, very successful practicing attorney. He's a very successful custom home builder. They didn't have anything else to do, so they threw her money and his construction background towards a park on some land that they already own. They never had any intentions of operating the park, and they didn't really even understand that that was going to be borderline detrimental to a cash sale when they were ready to sell it. So they've got this park. It's fully stable, or it's fully built. It was finished last month with sod, everything. It's good to go, and they have no management. They've got no management. They've got no operational history. They've got no interest in doing any of that because, again, she's a successful lawyer. He's a successful developer. Any amount of time they're investing in this from a management perspective, it's not their highest and best use. So they're not going to self-manage. Option two would be they're going to hire and staff the park, which still requires some sort of management and oversight. They don't even have the bandwidth to do that. And they're not, they've got no debt. So they're not really motivated by the bank or motivated by needing to make money. Option three would be a third-party management company, but they don't want to sign up with any third-party management agreements if they're trying to sell it, if the buyer is not going to be on board with a third-party management contract. So right now they're sitting on it. They're saying, hey, we're not going to get our cash price that we wanted, which is 6.5. Just so you know, 6.5, in my opinion, is closer to a fully stabilized value and aggressive cap rate, say like a slightly more aggressive than market cap rate. I think it's a $6 million deal once it's stabilized. Highest offer we've gotten cash rise right now is 3.8. They've turned it down. They've got more into it than that. So they're looking at some creative structures, or they're willing to look at some creative structures. They haven't really given me any guidance on what that means. I think they want to see what the market is going to bring forward to them. In my mind, I'm thinking high LTV, period of deferred payments since there's no revenue, probably an interest-only type deal, and then a payoff in 5 years. But that's just what I'm familiar with. If you've got something else that might be creative that gets them a higher eventual exit, that's what they care about. They don't need the money. They really don't. They want to get, they would rather get more money in the long term than less money in the short term. So I'll send you the OM on that one too if you don't have it.
What's the city, brother?
Kemp, Texas, K-E-M-P.
Okay, got it. Okay, I was typing in K-I-P-P, K-E-M-P. Okay.
Yeah, if you type in Bigfoot Cedar Meadows on the map, it's going to take you to a pin that's not directly on the park. But if you look just a little bit.
So you're just outside of Dallas.
Yeah, 45 minutes from Dallas. Right on I-75, or excuse me, 175 that goes between Dallas and a lot of those smaller East Texas towns like Lufkin, Palestine, etc.
Love it. Okay. All right. So I like both of these deals. I mean, these are my favorite deals on the planet.
Cool.
A seller that doesn't need the money, but wants to win on their sales price, wants to make sure that not only do they get their investment back, but they also win on, one, taxes. Two, they get more money than they put in over time, and they're willing to wait for whatever, 5 to 7 years type of thing to get the number that they want. I don't know why we couldn't structure a deal something like that.
And it's of higher importance to them to get the park operational and get it going. So they're looking for a shorter closing timeline and just to get somebody in there to actually manage and operate it. So it's not sitting there falling into disrepair, which it's not currently, but you don't have to fast forward too far to see grass getting overgrown, things falling out of repair, things getting vandalized, squatters, all that good stuff. So they definitely want to avoid that.
Okay, cool. Love it. The structure that you just said is actually a decent structure for me. We actually use third-party management. Actually, I'm sorry. We start with third-party management, usually for 6 months, and then we onboard our own internal team. We bring on park managers that just live on site, and then they're on W-2 payroll. And so we would start with a third-party management company. We would infuse revenue. We'd start getting stuff going. I would probably do a deferred payment schedule, something like 6 to 12 months so that we can get us operational. And then what I would do is I would probably go out. Here's what I would probably do in the situation. I'd say, let us give you a couple $100,000 down. Let's just say hypothetically, get your commissions paid or, what have you up front, get them some security. Let me come in and start operating it. Give me 6 months. I go out and secure a loan for, let's say, $3.5 million. They then carry the remaining $2 to $3 million for 5 years, and they get their full $6.5 million.
But I think.
Okay, love it. I have a girl named Heidi Silva. She's my property manager, asset manager. She will probably go out within like a week and go visit both that park and the Cedar Meadow Park. And we'll get eyeballs on it, but I can send you an LOI. If you can do a little bit of homework with me on the Cedar Meadow deal, look at the underlying debt on that 3.25 million. Tell me what that is so I can send a full LOI over to you. And then on the Kemp deal, I'll send you an LOI probably within a couple of days. If you like those LOIs, I'll send Heidi out there to meet you or the sellers in person, and we can build a relationship and see if we can go into a full purchase contract.
I'm like, plan.
You're the freaking man, dude. Why? How many of these are you representing? Can I buy like 4 to 6 a year from you?
Yeah, you could easily. So we're just in Texas right now.
Okay.
I started my company in January. I was, again, 10 years, but I was doing national retail, kind of discovered this little niche, hired some guys to go focus on it, ended up doing it really well. We've got a really attractive back end thing. So actually, let me tell you about this because I think it might help you get some future deals down the road. So we got into this space not because I'm passionate about RV parks. I am now, but I wasn't at the time. But because I've done probably more 1031 exchanges into single tenant retail than anybody else in the country. And the whole pitch there is, if there's the old school mom and pop operator who's got a multifamily project, industrial project, parks, obviously, that they've owned for 20 plus years, guess what? The thing's appreciated and it's depreciated. Their capital gains are insane. I can walk in there, show them how we can exchange them into a Starbucks, a Dollar General, a CVS, etc. They don't lose any of their equity. They can maintain their cash flow with corporate credit tenants.
And get rid of their management in a triple net lease type of situation.
Exactly. So if you've got that deal on your whiteboard or something that's the old school guy who says, I want to sell, I just don't know what I would do with the money, call me. But yeah, we can get you a lot.
Are you guys an intermediary?
We're working on that right now. That's become a pretty high demand thing for us. We're trying to navigate around some conflict of interest things, which I just need to do some more research on. But we've got great intermediary relationships.
Dude, literally, you and I are going to make so much money together over the next 10 years.
Let's go, man.
Freaking awesome, man. This is so great. Okay, awesome. Do some homework for me on the 3.2 million. Shoot me a text message and I'll have somebody on my team, probably Jade or Molly, will send an LOI over to you. We'll get on another call and maybe schedule a time for our girl to go out and visit the property in person.
Sounds like a plan.
You're the man.
I'll get started on this once I get back from dinner.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Okay, see ya. Wow. Phenomenal. I don't think you guys knew you were in for such an, did anybody learn anything? Do you see how fast, like when you get to a point in this business, you know your stuff, you can just zoom through a call. You see how fast it's like, how many people heard words you've never heard before, or like 5 words in a row you've never heard before? Okay. That doesn't take that long to get to that level, but it does highlight to you that that's not where you should start. How many people are like, that is above my pay grade? I immediately know right away that that is above my freaking pay grade right now. By the way, guys, welcome to the show. I will tell you right now, today is day number 2 of the Bird Dog Challenge. We did day number 1 yesterday. One thing I want you to remember about me is I'm a guy that doesn't dilly-dally. I start our trainings right on time and I jump right into the action. Today, I just talked to a broker on 2 RV parks in Texas, totaling $12 million in real estate that I can walk into with no money out of pocket, no credit check, no credentials, no license. I can buy $11-12 million of real estate right now from that one broker. That one relationship will bring me 4 to 6 more RV parks every year for the rest of my year, or for the rest of my life. I could buy $40 million of real estate from that one guy. Okay. But did you ever dilly-dally? Yeah, I used to. I dilly-dally every once in a while. I went fishing this morning. I think that's all I did was dilly-dally on the lake this morning. So I wanted to start off with that call. Number one, that lead came from one of my students, a student named Myron Briley, who I've done 70 plus deals with. Myron's like, hey, I'm not an RV park guy. I did single family and multifamily, but now I'm venturing into RV parks. And obviously you're my mentor and we've partnered on deals. Will you handle this lead for me? That is not a bird dog deal. And I wanted to start out by explaining that to you guys because I actually got an email today that will help you understand what a bird dog deal is not. Because a lot of people will confuse things. If I, the buyer, okay, we'll do this on a whiteboard session. By the way, how many people came here for the nationwide buyers list? You want me to give that away right now so you can just leave? Some people are like, me. Yeah, let me give you that list. We're going to put it on side chat on pause. 2,000 people on Zoom right now. And let's see how many people we got on YouTube. We got a couple hundred people on YouTube. Guys, thank you so much. We love doing this. I was hanging out with you guys yesterday for 2.5, almost 3 hours. Today, I'm going to do the same thing. We will be back here tomorrow. And we will be back here Thursday. This is a 4-day training. I do a new training every single month so that the training is never the same. This training is all about one of the easiest ways to get started in real estate, which is bird dogging. And for those of you guys that missed yesterday, which is obviously a couple of hundred people, I am going to explain to you what bird dogging is for probably the first 10 minutes. Yesterday, I explained it for 2 hours. Today, I'm going to do it in 10 minutes just to recap. And then we're going to get into the rest of the training today. But one thing I promised to a lot of people is a nationwide buyers list. So let me explain to you what that actually means. The buyers list that we're going to be giving away, I'm going to put the side chat on pause. By the way, have you guys ever seen anybody online talk crap about me? Like, oh, he must not even do the business. After you watch me make a call like that, do you go, there's like, why would anybody say that that guy doesn't do the business? Okay. Like, it's so crazy. The bigger you get and the more you help people, there's guaranteed on this 2,000 person training right now, guaranteed there's people that hate me because I do stuff that they can't do. I get attention that they can't get. I train in a way that they can't educate, and they have nothing but jealousy and envy in their hearts. And so what they do is they come on my training just to watch me and hate me. Guaranteed out of 2,000 people today, there's people on here that do that. Welcome to life, guys. If you ever want to do something cool, plan on the freaking haters just drooling all over everything that you do. And you know what? You might as well give them a show. And you might as well remind them every single day why they can never freaking be you. Okay. All right. So the thing that I promised yesterday, we did deliver this, by the way, yesterday, but we're going to deliver it again because there's some people that missed it. The thing that I did is yesterday, Saravi on my team went to a website and she pulled a list of the top 16,000 cash buyers in the United States. A cash buyer is somebody like me, somebody who's buying RV parks, mobile home parks, multifamily. They're doing Section 8. They're doing everything that you can imagine. We pulled the top 16,000 people. Now, how do I know that these are actual buyers and they're not wholesalers or daisy chainers or people lying that they're not a buyer? Because the data that we pulled is actually from the county recorder's office, which means your government, your local municipality, wherever you are in the country, has given us proof that these people with their LLCs or even in their personal name have closed on at least 25 properties in the last 12 months. How many people want those 16,000 people as a gift? Now, that cost me $4,000. So I want to give you that 14,000 or that 16,000 person list. You just need to understand this did cost real money. It's not something that I downloaded for free. It's not something I got from a VA. This is something we really spent money on. So I want you to treasure this and understand that we are here to give you the resources that you need and obliterate all of your excuses of, I can't do this. Pace is too smart. I don't have the things he has. So the 16,000 person list, we're going to put that in the side chat right now. Just say, guys, say thank you to Carly and Sarabi in the side chat if you don't mind for me. Let them know, because I do all sorts of wild, crazy things and I spend the company's money. And when you say thank you to them, it makes them want to do the same thing. We attract bees with honey, not with vinegar, right? We always say thank you, and we come from an attitude of gratitude. The more you say thank you, the more doors will open up to you. I think we already all know that. All right, I'm going to pause the side chat over here on Zoom so I can give you guys the link. Let's see here. The link, Sarabi sent it to me yesterday. Let me just pull it up one more time, guys. Okay, here it is. This is the nationwide buyers list. Cost us 16,000 buyers, cost us about $4,000. This is their phone numbers, their email addresses for like 80% of them. Not all of them we got their emails, but we got everybody's cell phone number, and for some people, multiple phone numbers. Now, I want to give you an expectation. I'm going to push enter here on my computer, and it's going to pop that in the side chat for the Zoom. We have over 2,000 people on the live right now. Pretty awesome. But what happens is everybody's going to click on this Google Drive link and everybody's going to go to the sheet. Okay. And when you go to the sheet, what you're going to find is here, I'll even do a screen share right now. There are currently already from yesterday, because I gave it away yesterday, there are currently 46 people on this list. Okay. Give me a heart emoji if you're on Zoom. Let the team know. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll put that link in YouTube as well for you knuckleheads that are over on YouTube and don't realize that we're over here on Zoom. I will put that as a pinned message for you guys right there. Okay. American Homebuyer AZ says, do we get it on YouTube? Yes. There you go. All right. Awesome. So that buyer's list is what I promised yesterday. That is not part of today's training. It's just for the people that missed yesterday. What I'm not doing with these 4 days of training, today is day 2. What I'm not doing is sending out replays. We are not sending out replays. I learned a couple of months ago through a data scientist, as he says, nobody watches replays. And when they watch replays, they don't really pay attention. And so I just prefer to create content that people watch. And that is typically a live Zoom. So today, guys, it is live. It is Tuesday, the 15th of July. It is 6:26 p.m. here in Montana. I live here in Montana in the summertime. Here's my backyard and my view. This is just another camera I got set up. And I'm in Arizona 9 months out of the year. Right now it's 120 degrees in Arizona. So last thing I want to do is be there. All right, let's jump into the training. The reason why I started with that call this morning, or I'm sorry, this afternoon, is because I got an email this morning. And that email, I'm not sending and sharing this email to pick on anybody. Please get that out of your head. But I want transparency, and I don't really want to be one of these guys who's like, well, one day 5 years ago, this one person did this thing. I want to give you guys real examples of things that are going on in my life right now. One, it shows credibility, right? It shows you that I'm not just some guru. It shows you that I'm actively doing deals and I'm actively buying real estate. It shows you that you should be listening to somebody that's buying real estate, even in a market that seems like a crazy market. By the way, guys, there's never been a time in real estate ever. There's never been a time in real estate where everybody was like, wow, the real estate market's really stable. It seems like a really good time to buy. Never has that happened. It's always something going on with interest rates. There's always something going on with politics. There's always a war going on. There's always job loss and this and that. Guys, just buy real estate. There's no perfect time to buy real estate. There's no perfect time to buy Bitcoin. There's no perfect time to invest other than just right now. Okay. So today I get an email, and this email came from somebody named Emika. I don't know Emika personally. They're not one of my students, but they watch a lot of my YouTube content. So Emika today sends me an email, and I want to show you this email, not because I'm picking on Emika, but because I want to show you what is not the way to do this business, is to just send a bunch of email, or just send an email with no context. Okay. So Emika has watched training of mine, and we talked about bird dogging. We've talked about wedge method. We've talked about all sorts of things, and we're going to talk about more today. The three things I'm going to talk about today are going to be, number one, see if I can get this to draw for me. Of course, it doesn't want to. Let's do a new one. Okay, there we go. Perfect. One of the things that we're going to cover today is we are going to recover what a bird dog is. Okay, so bird dog, this is the focal point of the training for the next 4 days. We are then going to talk about wedge method. And then we are going to talk about the Orbit program. Okay, Orbit program that I do for my SubTo members. And I want to tell you the difference between these things and the responsibility of the person that's trying to get into the business and how they can participate on each one of these things. Bird dogging, okay, bird dogging is where you are finding a deal that's already under contract, meaning it's ready to be sold, okay? Meaning somebody else has already called the real estate agent. Somebody has already negotiated with the real estate agent. Somebody's already done the call that I just did. Somebody's got that deal under contract. They've done the due diligence. They've done the comping. They've done the underwriting, and they got that property under contract. They then, okay, bring that contract to you. So let's talk about this. Every deal, my friends, as we've talked about 100 times, every deal starts with a seller. Every deal that you will ever do starts with a seller. And as you heard me talking to that real estate broker right before, maybe some of you guys just trickled in here, but I just had a 14-minute call with an incredible broker talking about 2 RV parks on seller finance. Now, this seller, I didn't talk to the seller. I talked to the broker, right? So here's the broker. His name is Landon. Landon's awesome, as you guys can hear. Educated on seller finance and creative finance, which is awesome. I am the buyer talking to that person directly. Okay, I'm the buyer. So I'm negotiating with Landon. I'm working on LOI. That's letter of intent. Letter of intent just means, let me send you a soft offer. That's what an LOI is, a soft offer. I know there's a lot of things to learn here, which is why bird dogging is actually a preferred method of getting into the business. Because you don't have to learn anything I just did on that call. You don't have to learn anything about Landon. You don't have to learn about contracts. You don't have to learn about those things as the bird dog. But what happened on that call is that Myron, one of my students, brought that lead to me. Okay, so let's go through and explain this. Okay, so here's the seller again. Seller is trying to sell his RV park. That seller is being represented by an agent. You guys just saw that call with that agent. Myron, my student, says, man, I don't know how to comp the RV park, but I've done 70 plus deals in my lifetime. I know how to talk to agents. I know how to set appointments, but I don't know how to comp and look at RV parks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what is called the wedge method, which means Myron is going to make the call. Myron is going to set the appointment. Myron is going to do some upfront digging and figure out what the heck is going on and ask questions to make my job a little bit easier as the buyer on the back end. This is not bird dogging. This is wedge method, which means Myron's going to find an opportunity for me. He has cold call. He knows how to set appointments. He knows the questions to ask up front. He knows how to set the expectation and make sure that I have the information that I need so I can jump on the call and have a more successful call with this agent. Okay. That is called Wedge method. Why is it called Wedge method? It's called Wedge method because as I, Pace, I go and buy this RV park, I will allow Myron to wedge himself into ownership with me in this park. Okay, this is something I only do with my SubTo members. I will let them bring opportunities like this to me. I will close them like I just did on the call. I will negotiate. I will send out my property manager. I will do all the paperwork. I will do all the work. But did Myron just simply send me an address and say, here you go, do you want to buy this? Or did Myron do some upfront work in the very beginning? Let's hear it in the side chat. What did Myron do? Did he just send me a bunch of addresses or did he do some upfront work? Okay. That is not a bird dog. Okay. A bird dog is sending me houses that are already under contract. They're copying and pasting. We'll go back to that in a little bit. Myron is actually doing some work. Myron sends me an email. He sets the appointment for me to talk to Landon. It's not perfect, but did I have to cold call as the buyer? Did I have to do any upfront due diligence? Did I have to set the appointment? Did I have to set the expectation? Did I ask the first 10 or 15 questions? No. Myron did the legwork, and so I will carve him into my deal. I will either wedge him into ownership or I will wedge him into a finder's fee. So I call it the wedge method. Okay. Give me a yes that you guys understand that Myron actually communicated with a property that is not currently under contract. Do we understand that this property is currently not under contract? There's still negotiating has to be done. There still has to be due diligence. There has to be all sorts of things that have to be done. The contract is not done. So Myron is doing a lot of upfront work in order for him to deserve ownership or a large fee. Give me one more yes that you understand the difference. Okay. So that's Myron. Now, that property is not under contract, but Myron's not sending me an address. Let me ask you a question. If Myron just sent me an address, let's say off a website, it's represented by an agent, so it's not under contract. It's just being represented and saying, hey, we're open to selling. If somebody sends me an address and just sends it to my email with no context, is that what we should be doing in this business? No, because one, I don't know why you're sending me the address. I get this all the time. I saved a couple of them this morning so I can show them to you. This is the most common misunderstanding people have is they just copy an address offline. They have no context of what the heck is going on. It's not even under contract. The real estate agent's never been spoken to. They don't know what's going on with the seller. They know nothing. And they just take the link and send it to me. Now, this happens all the time, like so frequently that I go, man, maybe there's something in my training that I'm not doing a good job of. Okay. No, James, we are not doing a replay. I'm going to say that a second time. We are not doing a replay for any of these 4 days. I'm not doing a replay. Why? Pace, you always do replays. I don't anymore. And I've learned the reason why is because when we send out the replay, people watch it in like 3X and then they just don't understand it. You're either watching it live or you're not watching it at all. I've just learned. Okay. So we're not sending out replays. Period. End of story. Done. You're either here, you're watching it, or you are watching Netflix and hanging out and mowing your lawn. I don't know. Okay. So here's what's interesting. If you listen to my training and you want to do bird dogging, you need to understand that the property you are going to bird dog needs to already be under contract. Please write that down. Let's talk about this. And let me explain this too, because I'm going to show you a couple of emails that I got this morning to help you understand what the heck I'm talking about just a little bit more. Okay. So let's go back to the drawing board. Every deal, as we already know, starts with a seller. Okay. Seller's selling a property. He hires a real estate agent. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But let's just say in this story, they do. Wholesaler comes along. Okay. Somebody that knows how to find these deals. Wholesaler comes along and says, hey, real estate agent, I'm interested in buying this property. They strike a price, let's say of $200,000. and they get this under contract for $200,000. And there's a contract that says that this wholesaler has the ability to buy this property for $200,000. Now, this contract is going to have a couple of things in it. It's going to have COE, that means close of escrow. That means the day you're going to buy the property, the day that the seller receives their $200,000, right? Close of escrow, finalization of the transaction. It's going to have the purchase price. It's going to have the due diligence period. It's going to have due diligence just means inspection period, all that kind of stuff. It's going to have earnest money. Earnest money is like the down payment to the transaction. It's going to have all of these things in the contract. We all understand this, correct? Guys, I'm going to put the side chat on pause so you guys can just focus. Some of you guys ask questions so far off base that it's obvious you're not paying attention. Can we type in the side chat today, patience? Just type in patience. Let's drown out all the people that are throwing out questions that have nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. Have patience. If you showed up yesterday, you were one of the 2,100 people that showed up yesterday for the 3 hours. Give me a rating on how good the training was yesterday in the side chat. Give me a rating. A 4, a 6, an 11. Okay, cool. Did I miss anything? Did I skip over anything? Or did I cover everything that needed to be done chronologically? Cool. So just be patient. If you guys are showing up for the first time, I promise I'll cover it. I'm going to put the side chat on pause, even though I like the side chat. I like seeing your guys' names. I like getting to know you guys. But sadly, people ask questions that are so far out of context. Okay, so give me an emoji. Give me a heart emoji on Zoom right now if you guys understand that this wholesaler got this property under contract. Cool. So what work did they do? Well, they found the lead. They comped the lead. Comp means figured out the value. They contracted the deal, but the contract is really actually challenging. They followed up, right? They followed up multiple times. In fact, pay attention to this. 70% of all of our deals require 13 follow-ups or more. 70% of our deals require 13 follow-ups or more. So we can agree that this wholesaler has been working their butt off. They're calling this agent at least 13 times. 70% of the deals that we do require 13 follow-ups or more. So this wholesaler's done a lot of work. They've learned sales skills, right? They've learned negotiation. They've learned human behavior. They've learned how to comp. They've done so much up front before that deal even makes its way to me. If I was given that phone call, I'm the buyer, by the way. If I was given the phone call to negotiate with that agent directly, that means Myron, my student, did not get that under contract. Why? Because that relationship with that broker is probably a little bit over his head because he's not into RV parks quite yet. This is how I teach a lot of my students is I just go, set the appointment for me. I'll close the deal. I'll wedge you in on a finder's fee or ownership in the park with me. That is not a bird dog deal because that deal that Myron set up for me is not under contract. Of course, Myron did some upfront work. He set the appointment, did all of that, but Myron didn't do the follow-up, didn't do the contract, didn't do the comping. He doesn't know that yet. He's in the process of learning that. I have to step in as the buyer and do a lot more work. I'm basically doing the wholesaler's job and getting the contract, doing the follow-up, doing all of those types of things. That is not a bird dog deal. A bird dog deal in this situation, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's say the seller has a property trying to sell. So here's the seller. Here is the real estate agent representing the seller. The wholesaler comes along. They go under contract for $200,000. I, the buyer, am over here, right? I'm the buyer. A bird dog is the liaison between the two of us. Okay, I'm going to call it BD, bird dog. The bird dog goes to the buyer first. This is step one of being a bird dog is you go to a buyer like me. So that 16,000 person list that I just gave you is 16,000 buyers that are buying deals just like I am. 16,000 buyers. I gave that to you guys today. You go step number one, you are going to get a buyer and you're going to say, hey buyer, my name is Pace. I'm brand new to the real estate business and I would love for the opportunity to send you properties that are already under contract. So what's cool about this is the wholesaler's already done all that work for you. Okay. You, the bird dog, go, all right, buyer, what do you want? And the buyer says, well, I want a 3-bed, 2-bath. I want, 2-car garage. I want to be in Tempe, Arizona, or I want to be in Tampa, Florida, or I want to be whatever their buy box is. Then you, the bird dog, go and find the wholesalers who have those types of opportunities already under contract. You copy those addresses and you paste them to your potential buyer. Your potential buyer gives you feedback. I'll tell you guys a couple of stories today. The bird dog never had to cold call. They never had to contract. They never had to comp. They never had to do any of those things. They never had to do any of the challenging things that you just watched me do on that call. Okay. So if I made the call as the buyer and Myron set the appointment for me, that property is obviously not under contract. So let me ask you a question. If a property is not under contract, are you bird dogging a deal or not? Okay, there you go. Everybody's saying no, means we're paying attention. Awesome. So let's go to what Myron was actually doing, which is called the wedge method. Okay. Thank you guys for paying attention. It's awesome. I love it. I love watching you guys pay attention and like totally get all this. This is so cool. Okay. So we've got a seller, right? The seller has an RV park. The seller obviously has a real estate agent right here. Okay. Here's the agent. What Myron did is Myron, my student in SubTo, Myron says, hey, I don't really know a lot about RV parks, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. But man, I've done 70 plus deals. I know how to set appointments. I know how to do the legwork up front. I'm articulate on the phone. I'm like totally not afraid of calling this broker. So Myron calls the broker, asks the questions, does the upfront work. So here's some questions he would ask. And we're not going to train on the wedge method. We might train on the wedge method next month. Give me an emoji, a thumbs up, or a heart method if you guys want me to talk about the wedge method next month in next month's training. But this right now, I'm just trying to highlight what the wedge method is and why it's different to lead into my point that is coming up in a couple of minutes. So Myron will ask questions like, hey, Landon, my name is Myron. I've done a lot of deals, but I'm really not up to speed on RV parks. I have a quality buyer that buys RV parks and would love to probably talk to you about these 2 RV parks you're currently representing. I saw them on Zillow, or I saw them on Crexy, or I saw them on LoopNet, or I saw them on LandWatch, whatever Myron said. I don't know where Myron saw these links. Because Myron did the upfront work. He kept me, the buyer, out of it, and he made my life easy, which is where his value is provided. So Myron calls Landon and says, hey, I have a buyer. I don't know a lot about RV parks, but I want to ask a couple of questions. I know my buyer only buys deals on creative finance. Would your sellers be open to doing seller finance and taking no payments and no down payments? Would your sellers be interested in something like that? Landon, the broker, says, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have that conversation. I think my sellers are open to that conversation. Let me talk to your buyer. Myron saves me the time of the call, saves me the energy of making the thing. And guess what? The most amazing thing that Myron does for me is Myron sets an appointment for me to talk to this broker, which actually raises my status when I call that broker. Because now I'm the type of person that needed an appointment to be set to talk to me. So I am postured in a higher level conversation. Give me a yes in the comments if you understand the value that a wedge method brings to me, the buyer. Okay. The bird dog will never do any of these activities. If you are doing this activity, you are doing the wedge method. Okay. You are finding opportunities for me, but you are not finding a deal for me. Okay. And I'll cover that in a couple of minutes as well. Okay. Myron did a great job doing upfront work. He knows what I'm looking for, but Myron wants to make a little bit more money. right? You want to make a little bit more money, you got to have a little bit more skill. You want to make a little bit more money, you got to do a little bit more upfront work. Save me, the buyer, the headache of having to do some of those boring things that I'm not excited about doing anymore. I did a lot of those for 10, 15 years. I'm not interested in doing those things anymore. This is why I have students. I teach them how to do it. They bring these opportunities to me. We make money together. That's how this works, okay? But what happens is, how many people right now, let's be honest, how many people right now, if I told you to go to Crexy, okay, I'll show you how to do this real easy. This is probably what Myron did. Okay, let's go to Crexy.com. Okay. And Myron probably went to Crexy and he probably typed in owner finance and he probably found a broker that's representing a property. By the way, these are not under contract. These are people that have opportunities that need to get under contract. So Myron probably went over here, called one of these brokers and set the appointment for me. How many people right now, give me an honest answer, how many people right now would be comfortable setting an appointment and asking the proper questions? Actually, give me how many people would not be? That's a better question. Say no if you're the person that's like, I'm not comfortable with that. I need training. I need to understand more. I'm scared. Give me a no in the comments if you would not be willing to do that right now. Okay, cool. So you are a better fit for bird dogging, because bird dogging doesn't require you to do any of those things. You are only going to people who have already gotten these under contract. The calls have been made. The negotiations have been done. The contracts have been written up and everything's completely done. So can you upgrade from bird dogging to doing Wedge method? Absolutely. It's one of the coolest things on the planet. But I need you to understand the difference, because what happens is so many people after these free trainings that I do on YouTube and all these cool Zooms, and we got 2,100 people here, people will send me emails that just blow my mind. And this is, again, do we all understand? I'm going to show you something. This is not me criticizing or beating anybody up. Can I get a yes? Okay. But I love showing you real examples that just help you highlight that it doesn't make sense to do this. Okay. And Amika, really nice person. I don't know if they're a boy, a girl. I don't know really anything about them other than they like to tell me, they like to send addresses, but not explain themselves. So let's go to the email that I received. If I get this email right here, okay, Amika sends me to my email, underwriting at Pace Morby, that's my team, and Heidi Silva, somebody on my team. They say, please find below the list of the 5th batch of SubTo deals. These bring the total to 85 offers. Okay. If I click on one of these, okay, hey, Chris Connor. Okay, this is an interesting thing. Chris Connor, I think maybe Chris Connor showed up just a little bit late, but Chris Connor, you just asked a question I would love to highlight so we can just get everybody in alignment here. Chris Connor, how you doing, man? I'm unmuting you. I want to chat with you. Chris Connor, how you doing? Chris Connor.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good.
Chris, were you late or did you hear the part where I said, hey guys, just be patient. I promise you I'll go chronologically through everything. We got to build the road.
I did. Unfortunately, I had an emergency phone call in the beginning of your deal that I missed. I was sitting there and waiting for you to start 15 minutes in and then waited. So yeah, I'm still waiting for that.
You're waiting for me to start?
No, I understand what you're saying, that it's chronological, that it's
okay,
a matter of having
cool.
the patience.
Cool. And I love the question. I appreciate it because it helps me highlight. Guys, I promise you, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to show you how to do all of these things. But I understand when I teach, what happens are the common mistakes that people make. So I'm showing you a common mistake before I get to the thing so that when we get to the thing, you don't have any confusion. Okay. Please be patient. I will show you all the things. If you have a question, please raise your hand and I will get to it at the end of today's training. I promise you. I think I went through a dozen Q&As yesterday. Just raise your hand. As long as it pertains to the training that we're doing today, I will absolutely ask your question. And by the way, I love that you asked that question. Super helpful because it helps highlight the fact that I will get to it. So let's go back to this for a second. Okay. Paul says, yeah, the problem is some people hear you, but they don't listen. You are correct. That's why I have to repeat myself 4, 5, sometimes 6 times. Okay. So let's go back to this. Amika Awesome person sends me a list of addresses. Okay. These are properties that are currently represented by real estate agents. So let me reshare the screen. I clicked on the first link so you guys can see where it goes. It goes to a public website. So cool. Thank you for sending this over to me. I could have pulled this up myself. Did you set an appointment for me to talk to Bellin Hughes, the real estate agent? Did you ask the real estate agent if they were open to SubTo? What was the conversation like? Like, that is all missing for me. And so what happens is people will literally just copy and paste addresses to me as if I don't know how to find those addresses. The value in this situation is either you're bringing me something already under contract, or B, you are bringing me a lead that is interested in talking to me and you set the appointment for me to talk to them. Okay. If you just send me an email, and by the way, this happens all the time. People send me Zillow links in my Instagram DMs. They send me like the weirdest emails. I get the weirdest emails. Amika's was actually really awesome. I'm not saying theirs was weird, but look at this. They send me 85 addresses. Let me ask you a question. This is honestly, do not make a joke about this. Let's be real here. Let's think logically. What am I supposed to do, or what is my team supposed to do with that email with 85 links? Let's not make a joke. Let's be serious. What do you think Amika thinks I'm going to do with those things? Call them. Interesting. So you want me to cold call something that's all public information. My question is, what do I need you for? Do we all understand? Like, there's no reason for me to need you if you literally are just sending me Zillow links or Crexy links or LoopNet.link. Do we all agree with that? And by the way, this is not being rude. I'm just highlighting something for everybody. If you're sending somebody a link to an agent's listing, is that property under contract? Has it been negotiated? Has it been talked down, followed up with sales process, human psychology, contracts have been done, escrow has been open? Has any of that work been done? It's pretty obvious it's no. Okay. This is public information and these properties are for sale, but you either got to get it under contract for me or set an appointment for me to talk to them after you do some upfront work, like asking the right questions and leading in the right direction. If the agent says, absolutely not, we're not doing seller finance, then not to even send me that opportunity. I would never talk to somebody that's not interested in seller finance. Okay. How could I even say yes to any of those? None of them are even under contract. So let's play this out real quick. Let's say I go, hey, Amika, I like number 29. Yes. Now what? Amika then goes, okay, will you call the agent and do all the work? Lori says, how do we make an appointment? If you're a SubTo member, you know how to make an appointment. If you're not a SubTo member, I'm not doing a deal with you, period. You should do a deal with the 16,000 people I gave you. I gave you those people. I'm just saying, in general, when you're working with those 16,000 people, sending them a link to Crexy does not do them any help. Do we understand that? Okay. So the list doesn't help me. And so this is like the 5th or 6th email Amika sent. And so I replied back today as I'm driving, by the way. I was at a stop sign and that's really the only time I had time to do. So I wrote an email back right here. As you can see, I said, Amika, I'm not sure what you're trying to do. Sending us Crexy links with zero context does not give me much to go off of. Can you please tell me what you're expecting us to do here? Maybe you should come to my training today. Okay. And of course I gave them the training and I said, come in and hang out. So Amika could be in here today. I'm not quite sure. Amika then says, a negative response is still a response from the Honorable Mr. Morby. Interesting. What? What? I'm like, okay. So then, they go over the thing and I said, hey, Amika, what part of my email was negative? Can you please tell me what you expect to do with these email addresses you're sending? Are you wanting me to have them call for you? Please help me understand. Then Amika's response is this. I refuse to believe that I'm being gaslighted by my own mentor role model. Like the Christians do, quoting God's word back to him in prayers. I will say the answers to your questions are below in the following links. Okay. So can I, by the way, Amika could be probably the nicest person on the planet that's super trying. Because here's the cool thing. I'll give Amika some kudos and some credit. There's a lot of people that don't even try. So first and foremost, Amika's awesome. And I appreciate that person. But can we see that like there's no value? You would never go to a buyer, somebody that has the ability to buy an apartment building, an RV park, a single family property. Do we all agree that just sending somebody a copy of an address with no context doesn't help the buyer? Okay. So all 2,100 people here, please pay attention to me, because I get you guys DMing me in my Instagram DMs and you say, hey, these buyers are not replying to me. When I was first in the business, I was like, man, these buyers are jerks. Why would these buyers not reply to you? That doesn't make any sense. Then I've been in the business long enough to know that the reason why they're not replying to you is because you're sending them literally addresses with no context, no communication. You're not introducing yourself. You're not saying, hey, I found this. What questions would you like me to ask this person? And what time could I set an appointment for you? It's very interesting that now I'm the culprit. I'm the bad person and I'm the gaslighter, even though my email was very polite. Did you guys see any rudeness or negativity in my email to Amika? Now, giving justification to maybe Amika is that maybe Amika just read it as an email and emails come across, bad context. That person, Amika, what strategy are they trying to follow? They're trying to follow what I would call the Orbit program. Okay. The Orbit program, something that I do also for newer SubTo members that are evolving into being like a bad mamma jamma. The Orbit program is where a planet, somebody like me, like a big planet, allows a newer person to orbit them and bring them value to some degree. Sometimes it's following up on leads. Sometimes it's going on appointments. Sometimes it's managing contractors, but basically orbiting somebody like myself. How many people would like to orbit somebody like me that's already in the business? I've got properties all over the country and you're like, I just want to be in your orbit. I would suggest to somebody like Amika to just send out an email and go, hey, I'd like to provide value to you, whether it's following up with your leads, maybe setting appointments for you, checking in on your contractors. I'd love to orbit you. I think the next step for somebody like Amika, who's obviously very new and maybe misunderstood the training, sending me an address of a property that I have to do all the work for you actually doesn't provide me any value. It actually, let's make an argument, it takes away from my life. I now have to reply to you. I have to coach you. I have to do all of these things and tell you what to do. Make sense? The reason why I do these free trainings is to help you guys get trained so that your buyers don't have to train you. So that when you come to the table with a buyer and you want to do your first deal with them, you already have momentum. You already understand what the heck the value is that you're trying to bring to the table. Going and telling people, here's the address, and then no context. How many times do you think I get those emails every day? I have another one. Amika, and by the way, Amika could be like the coolest person on the planet. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. I want to find another one that came across today. Okay. Somebody sent me one today and I really need you guys to see this because it is very similar, but Amika did a really good job, replying back and forth. A lot of times people will send me an email that literally has nothing but an address in it and nothing else. And I'm going to pull that up so you guys can see that this is going on very frequently. And Lori, I get 300 emails every single day. So let me go through this. It popped up this morning. I deleted it, of course, but this is something you guys need to understand. If somebody's deleting your stuff, it's because you are sending them things not worthy of replying to. And that might hurt some people's feelings. Okay, deal lead. Okay, cool. Here's one that I got a couple of days ago. And Josh Sayer, I don't know you off the top of my head, so I apologize, but I'm going to show you an email that popped up from Josh Sayer. This is an email. It has no context. No email, no communication, no, hey, this is what's going on. It is literally just a screenshot of, hey, what do you think I did? I'm like, I don't know who you are, Josh. I don't know what you're trying to get me to do. So I just deleted the email. If you're not going to give me context, and I'm not trying to be rude, I'm busy, right? You want something done, hire a busy person. You guys want to work with busy people, I imagine. And so if you're going to be sending stuff, make sure it's going to be one of two things. One, it's a property that's already under contract. And I'll show you an example of that in a second. And I'll show you where to get the properties that are already under contract. I will show you that today. Or two, ask the buyer, hey, I'd like to set appointments for you. I'd like to find leads and opportunities for you. What are you looking for? I'll set these up for you on your calendar. Okay. No, these people are not SubTo students. These are people that get my email from. If you guys Google my email, you'll find my email and I will delete it if you do not give me the context of what the heck is going on. So no, these are not SubTo students. My SubTo students are trained. They would never do that. Okay. I got to find this one. The one popped up this morning that's just mind-boggling to me. Dang it. I don't want to waste your guys' time. I know people want to be basically, educated and entertained. So this kind of stuff pops up all the time. Can we all be in agreement, 2,100 people, you are never going to send an address to any buyer unless that address is going to be one of two things. One, it's already under contract and it's ready to purchase. Or two, you are asking them, hey, can I do some fact finding for you? And can I set an appointment for you? And can I do the wedge method with you? I do not have time to teach you guys the wedge method this month. I will teach it to you guys next month in next month's challenge. Are we all on the same page? Okay. Cool. Very, very cool. I'm not going to answer anything about wedge method this week. That will be next month. We'll talk about that next month. Okay. All right. So where can I find a property under contract? If I want to be a bird dog, where do I find a property under contract? Okay. Let's go through and talk about that. Everybody ready to take some notes? We're going to answer this question of where do I find the deals that are already under contract? You find them from wholesalers. Pace, where do I find wholesalers? We will talk about that as well. Okay. Cool. Here's one of the fastest ways to find a wholesaler. I'll show you guys really, really fast. I've shown multiple people this, but I'll show it to you fast because some people don't want to hear a story. They want just the tactical stuff. So I'll show you some tactical stuff right now. Something very easy you can do right now where you're listening to me today. So we can go in here and we can type in cash buyer Tennessee. Cash buyers in Tennessee. There you go. We buy homes in any condition, Genuine Property Brothers, Landmark Home Solutions. All of these people are wholesalers. These are actually not buyers. They are all liars. They are lying to homeowners, and that's perfectly fine. It's legal. They are lying and marketing themselves so that homeowners will Google cash buyer in Tennessee, or let's say real estate investors. Okay, real estate investor in Tennessee. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to pull up ads. Okay, there's always going to be an ad at the top. So property investors, sell, fast. All of these people are wholesalers. Look, there's one right here, real estate investors, Nashville. These are the people that are going out and finding deals. They're sending out letters. They're doing billboards, radio, TV, everything you can imagine. They're trying to get homeowners' attention so that they can negotiate with those homeowners and get those houses under contract. Once they get those under contract, they turn around and they sell them to people like me, buyers. Okay. One of the largest wholesalers in the country. I will give you guys this list tomorrow. I'm going to give you the largest wholesaler list in the country tomorrow. It's 1,100 wholesalers. How many people have seen, give me a yes in the comments, if you guys have seen We Buy Ugly Houses. Okay. There are, I think right now, 1,200 of them. So let's just type in We Buy ugly houses. Okay. You guys have seen UGG. That's the name of their mascot, UGG. You've seen the billboards. You've seen the TV, radio advertisement. You've seen this stuff. Everybody, you've seen this, correct? This is how I started in the business. I was one of these franchise owners for 6 years. I was the top 3 franchises in the country. I was one of the We Buy Ugly Houses people. So what are we doing? Okay. There you go. Heidi says, I worked with them for 5 years. What are these people? These guys are wholesalers. What are they doing? I was spending, when I was in 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, so roughly 8 years, I spent $20,000 a month. And that $20,000 went to billboards, mailers, postcards, Facebook advertisements, everything you can imagine to get homeowners' attention. And what I would do is I would go to homeowners' houses. I would negotiate with them. I would try and get their house under contract. And once I get them under contract, what did I then do? I sold those contracts and wholesaled them to cash buyers, people that were fixing and flipping, and I made a wholesale fee. So if I gave you, think about this, if I gave you a list of 1,200 of those people that are all spending $20,000, $30,000 a month trying to get homeowners' attention and get those contracts, do you think that would be valuable for you? Do you think that would be helpful for you to just be like, oh my gosh, Pace just gave me the 20 people in Phoenix. He gave me the 15 people in Tennessee. He gave me their cell phone and their email address. How did I get all their contact information? Because I was the top 3 franchise owner in the country. I have all their information. Okay. I will give you guys that list tomorrow. I don't currently have it organized, so I got to have Sarabi or somebody on my team organize it. Okay. Does this make sense to everybody where I can give you like a big list? I can save you a lot of work. Now, that's the biggest brand in wholesaling is We Buy Ugly Houses, or it's actually the name of the company is Homevestors. You guys know who owns Homevestors? Subway Sandwich Company owns Homevestors. Freaking crazy. Freaking weird. I know it's weird, but it's like a franchise model. So Subway came in and bought it. Freaking funny how it's a big company. So think about it. Subway franchise bought We Buy Ugly Houses, and some people in here had no idea. These are big organizations going out and spending literally hundreds of millions of dollars advertising to homeowners. They're going directly to the homeowner. They're bypassing the real estate agent, and they're going into the homeowner's living room, and they're buying houses in person. Okay. Another person that does this model, there's a lot of people that do that model. They just are not called We Buy Ugly Houses. They're just copying the model. Okay. So the way you would find these people in your town is do exactly what we just talked about, which is cash buyer and then your city. So let's do cash buyer, Miami. What city are you guys in that you guys want me to type this in? Okay. So there you go. This is the same thing. You just go to all, and you're going to go down here and you're going to see all of these people that are marketing. They are spending money right now to get homeowners' attention to buy their houses. Okay. These are the people you're going to get the deals from. So let's talk about that just for again, if somebody's spending $20,000 a month to get their phone to ring with homeowners that are in distress, homeowners that are having problems, they're going into the living room. They're scheduling a time to go into the living room. This is how I started in the business, doing this exact thing for 8 years. I stopped doing that full time in 2018, 19, and I started building my portfolio, and I got away from going into the living room. I miss it a lot, but that's what I did in my business. So do I have a lot of time if I'm going on a couple of appointments a day and I'm following up in the meantime and I'm calling people and I'm trying to negotiate and do I have a lot of time to be fixing and flipping? Do I have a lot of time to be going out and also building a portfolio? Not really. Okay. So these people are typically wholesaling their contracts and making a finder's fee. They also don't have the most consistent buyer pool. And so they're constantly looking for new buyers. And so in the country, there's a role that helps both the buyer and the person that's going in the living room, which is the wholesaler. And that person is the bird dog. It's the intermediary between the two parties. So let me explain to you a recent deal that I've done so you guys can understand a very, very recent deal and how a bird dog deal works. Okay. Look, Eldrica, that's a very interesting name. Eldrica says, hi, I'm a wholesaler. Here's my number with several properties under contract, such as, okay, so cool. Let's talk to Eldrica so you guys can understand how this works. I think that's how you spell your name. That's freaking crazy. Eldrica sounds like a woman's name, but I'm not sure. Eldrica, is that your name? Eldrica.
Yes. Do you hear me?
What an interesting name. Where did that come from? Eldrica, I could hear you for a second and you went away. What happened? I'm going to disable your speaking again and then allow you to talk one more time. Oh, wait, that's the wrong person. Eldrica, where'd you go? Gosh, I want to talk to you. So she actually has properties under contract. She's a wholesaler. Okay. Eldrica, you there? We could hear you for like a second. There you are.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Eldrica, you are going out talking to sellers or talking to real estate agents, and you are getting properties under contract. Is that correct?
Yes, the most of them, I have the luck or the blessing that they approach me. I have my Facebook page and everybody is approaching me to work together with them. Say, hey, I have such and such a property under contract, property to offer. Can you take it over? I say, okay, yes, no problem. I have how it started with me is one time I saw a
okay,
property.
So Eldrica, it sounds like you are actually not a wholesaler. It sounds like you are actually a bird dog.
Yes and no, because I just linked up with a lady like a few months ago, and she has sent me a lot of properties, all the way in Texas, nationwide, Florida.
Okay, so
and
is she? So guys, this is, by the way, this is very important for you to understand. The roles that we all play in real estate help you guys. If you are brand new, when you start understanding what people are doing, you can understand what. You can understand how to provide value to somebody when you understand their role. So what I'm trying to do right now with Eldrica is I'm actually trying to, hey, Kayla, Arena, guys, can I just put the buyers list in one last time and we can be done with the buyers list? Can I get a yes? We're done with the buyers list. Everybody that shows up late, you freaking chuckleheads, you freaking chucklehead knuckleheads, show up on time, you knuckleheads. There's the list in the side chat. We're done with it. Please, guys, when you show up late, you mess up the whole entire show, please. Okay, so Eldrica, it doesn't sound like you are negotiating with the sellers, and it doesn't sound like you're negotiating with the brokers or the real estate agents. That is a wholesaler, somebody who is communicating and negotiating and getting these properties under contract. That does not sound like what you're doing. It sounds like wholesalers are coming to you, Eldrica, and saying, hey, will you help me sell my deal? Is that correct?
I will say yes and no. Yes, because see,
just say, the answer is very clearly yes. You are not marketing. You are not going in people's living rooms. You are not negotiating and following up with sellers directly. You are not doing that. People are bringing you properties that are under contract. Is that correct? Yes or no?
correct. Yes.
Okay,
and
great.
I market.
So
I
you are
market
not
them.
a wholesaler when you are doing that. You are a bird dog or a dispo wholesaler. You are selling other people's deals. Is that correct?
Yes, with my partner. Yes, sure.
Okay, you don't need to add all the context of with my partner. It's either yes or no. I'm just trying to prove a point to everybody.
Okay.
Okay, you're just trying to make things confusing for people. Remember that everybody listening right now just needs to understand your role. Whether it's you and your partner does not matter. Let's keep it very simple. Yes, no, all that kind of stuff. Because people that are newer, that kind of overstimulates it. Wait, do I need to have a partner? Literally, somebody that's brand new will have that thought. Okay.
Okay.
You are not a wholesaler. Your role. If you told me you're a wholesaler, I immediately in my mind, this is how I think of you. I go, oh, she's spending money on marketing. It doesn't mean you also don't have a wholesale business. But when you say I have a website and people come to me and they ask me to sell their deal, you are doing dispo, not acquisition. Is that correct?
Okay, no, I'm confusing now. So you are telling me.
Okay. Disposition means you're selling other people's deals, meaning you are not
Okay.
negotiating with the seller. You are not negotiating with a broker. You are not using follow-up techniques. You're not lowballing and sending in offers. People have already done all of that work for you. That's called acquisition. Okay.
Okay.
You are doing disposition, which means somebody has already done the acquisition. They've done the marketing. They've met with the seller. They've talked to the agent. They've done the follow-up. They've lowballed an offer. They've been told to stop sending lowball offers. They've gone through all of that stuff to get a contract. They bring that contract to you, Eldrica, and you go, okay, great. I'll try and find a buyer for you. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
You are not a wholesaler.
But I have
But you are
two-
now starting a wholesale business because you also want to start doing your own marketing. Is that correct?
Yes, because I have received
That is a different business. I
Yes.
need you to understand
Okay.
that. That is a
Okay.
different business. Okay. Think about this, guys. Do all landscapers do Christmas lights and snow removals? Do all landscapers do Christmas lights and snow removals? Yes or no? No. Do
No.
some of them do Christmas lights and snow removal?
Yes.
Those are two different businesses, my friend, and you're putting them together. They're not the same business. If you told me you're a landscaper, I immediately think lawns, edges, weeds, sprinklers. Okay. I don't know that you're doing, the way you define yourself is very important in any business. Do we all understand how quickly this can be messed up? Even somebody that's doing it is literally confused by their title. So what's happening is if you are not explaining yourself properly, nobody knows how to interact with you. If you say, I'm a wholesaler, I go, perfect. And I think you're marketing, you're negotiating, you're going into appointments. Great. But if you say, I do dispo, mean disposition, getting rid of, I sell people's deals, that's what that means. I immediately go, oh, Eldrica, that's awesome. So you have a lot of leads or a lot of opportunities coming to you, and I could just buy deals from you. The way you describe yourself is very, very, very important in this business. Okay?
Okay. So I'm a dispo wholesaler. Okay.
You are a dispo wholesaler, or also known as a bird dog. You are bird dogging for buyers. You are not doing any of the upfront conversations. You're not doing the negotiation. You're not lowballing the seller. You're not getting hung up on. You're not door knocking. You're not sending out mailers. You're not doing billboards. You're not doing TV and radio advertisements. That is what a wholesaler does.
Okay. So one question that I have for you. So now, actually, the last 3 weeks, I have like direct sellers. So sellers have the property. They are asking me to help them to sell that. So I have like 4 now that I am.
And are they under contract? Did you contract them at a specific price?
I put them on the contract and everything because I was asking all the questions.
In that situation, you are a wholesaler. You are direct to the contract. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. When you are directly in charge of the contract, the first contract. So let's go through this and draw this out. This is great that we're covering this. Okay.
Okay.
Really, really good that we're covering all this, because I think everybody needs to be either reminded of this or just need to hear it for the first time. Okay. So remember, every deal starts with a what? Starts with a seller. Okay. If you are the person, let's say that you are Eldrica, and Eldrica is talking to this seller directly, and then Eldrica goes out and sells this deal to a buyer who is going to go fix and flip the house. What is your job title in this? You are a wholesaler.
A wholesaler. Okay.
Directly in charge of this contract. Okay? You are the first contract. So this is party A right here. See this A right here? Party A, that's the first party. And this is party B. If you are in control of the A to B contract, you are called a wholesaler.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's change this up a little bit. Okay. If here's the seller Here's Eldrica. Then, actually, let's reverse this. I'm sorry. Let's say that there's another wholesaler that then goes to you, Eldrica. Here's Eldrica right here.
Yes.
This is party A. This is party B. This is party what? C.
C. Mm-hmm.
Eldrica, are you directly in charge of the A to B contract?
No.
Okay, then you would not be considered the wholesaler.
Okay.
Do not call yourself a wholesaler when you are doing this job. The reason being is because when people are communicating with you and networking with you, they need to know what role you're playing in all of this. Okay. So for example, you now are finding deals for buyers, right? Your primary focus, okay, your primary business right now is your focal point is finding buyers. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So
Sure.
this, guys, please understand this part of the business is called acquisition. Okay. Acquiring the deal. This part of the business is called disposition. Okay. We also call this dispo. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yes.
Does everybody understand this? Give me a yes. Okay. So Eldrica, could you be both in your life? Could you be
Yes.
both a wholesaler and a disposition wholesaler? Yes.
Yes.
But when you're meeting me, this is what I would tell you. Okay, listen to this. You and I meet at a real estate meetup, okay?
Okay.
And you come up to me and I go, hey, Eldrica, nice to meet you. What do you do? And you go, I'm a wholesaler. My first question I'm going to ask you is amazing. What marketing stream are you currently spending the most money on right now? You're going to go, I'm not spending any money. I'll go, wait, I thought you were a wholesaler. Well, yeah, I am. Okay, but you're not marketing. You're not communicating with the sellers. You're like, I'm confused. You're a wholesaler or not a wholesaler? Now, if I met you and you said, oh, I do dispo.
Okay.
I go, amazing. How many deals do you have? Can I look at some of your deals? Do you see how different this situation is?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I'm so glad that you explained that, because I had that confusion myself. So I say, I don't know what to call myself, wholesaler or bird dogger. I don't know, because I do the both of them.
Okay. So here's the biggest difference between a bird dog and a dispo wholesaler. Okay.
Okay.
I want you guys to understand this is the biggest difference. Bird dog, people go, oh, bird dog, it's just JVing. No, it's not. Kiss my grits. Oh, bird dog, that's just doing dispo wholesaler. No, it's not. You, whoever thinks that, has probably done 4 deals in your entire life, and you are on my training. Let me tell you how it actually is. Okay. A bird dog is only working for one buyer. You start with the buyer and you only work for one buyer. Can you please write that down? People go, oh, I'm a dispo wholesaler. What does that mean? That means that she is getting deals and she has no idea who the buyer is. And so you, no offense to you, I'm going to say something that you might disagree with, and tell me if you do. People send you deals and you go, oh my gosh, I need to find a buyer for these. And you have a really short time frame and you stress out about time, and you stress out about earnest money. You stress out about due diligence and inspection periods and getting people access to the properties. And then you stress about buyers communicating. You do stress out about all of those things, correct?
Yes and no.
Dude, is the name of your company Yes and No LLC? What the heck is up with the yes and no's?
No, because I'm not stressed. I have the deals. I just advertise them, and whenever I close them, I close them. I don't have like.
Okay, cool. So guys, here's what she's basically saying. Yes, Pace, I stress out about all of those things, but I don't want to say I stress out because that sounds a little bit too intense. Guys, she's getting deals from other wholesalers. Makes sense. She's not communicating with the sellers. She's not communicating with the agents. Other wholesalers have already done that work and sending it to her. She does not have a buyer in mind right now. What she does is she has hundreds of buyers on an email list, and she sends out a list of the email, and then hopefully those buyers reply to her and say, hey, I'm interested in this deal. And she goes, oh, great. Let's start communicating about the deal. Does this make sense?
Yes.
That is not a bird dog. That is a disposition wholesaler. Why is that so important? Because when you are in the very beginning, how many people have watched my training videos or other people's training videos and you feel overwhelmed? Give me a me. How many people feel overwhelmed when you're first starting the business? I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Do I need credit? Do I need my license? How do I build a buyer's list? How do I email? What email system are you using, Eldrica? What do you use? All of the questions that you would even have right now about Eldrica, bird dogging removes all of it. Because you start with the buyer. You only communicate with one buyer. You go deep on one buyer. So every time you get an opportunity, you send it to the buyer, and that buyer says, yeah, I like that deal, but it needs to be lower. And you get educated by one buyer as you get started in the business. How many people would prefer to go that route? In the very beginning, at least, like your first step. Do we understand the difference between what Eldrica is doing, which is disposition wholesaling, and bird dogging? It is a different approach. Okay. It's basically like tennis and pickleball are really similar, right? Like they have a net, they have a thing, they have a ball. It's similar. It's not the same. It does make a difference for you to understand it this way. Okay. Pace, if I bird dog and I become a top tier TC because I love to do paperwork and help people. Yes, of course. I have a lot of people that start out bird dogging and become top tier TCs. Okay. A bird dog is the simplest way to get started in real estate because you're only focusing on one buyer. You go, all right, I don't want to be confused with email systems, and I don't want to be worried about what deal this is and whether it's a deal or not. I don't want to be stressed out by 50 people on this side and 50 people on this side. Gosh dang it, I haven't even done a deal yet, and I'm building CRMs and email system. Dude, like what you're doing, Eldrica, if you're not doing a couple of deals a month, what you're doing right now as a disposition wholesaler is very stressful for somebody that's brand new. Okay?
Okay.
So let's talk about what a bird dog deal does. Okay. Why can't a bird dog deal work with multiple buyers? Because then they would cease to be a bird dog. Why can't a monogamous man be married to more than one woman? Because it's a complete violation to the relationship that you set up. The relationship I set up is an intentional. I go, I want to keep it simple. I want to work with one buyer because I want to guarantee I can get a deal. Okay. The reason for that, okay, the reason for this is a really great question, Elizabeth M. Eldrica, thank you for being an example for us today. That was super helpful. Guys, give Eldrica a little bit of love in the side chat, please, if you don't mind. That was really helpful and obviously not planned, which is awesome. Elizabeth M., how you doing? How can I help you today? Elizabeth M., you had made a good comment in the side chat. Unmute yourself. It takes a couple of seconds, guys. Sorry about this.
Oh, hi. Sorry. I'm sitting here with my 6-year-old.
I love it. Great. You have a great question in the side chat. I just want to highlight. Why can't a bird dog have more than one buyer? I assume you did not show up to yesterday's training, correct?
No, I'm stay-at-home mom. I'm with my son.
Okay.
So no, we couldn't make it.
No problem. I get it. I just want to make sure I don't need to give you the 45-minute explanation. I can give you the 2-minute explanation is all I'm trying to figure out.
Give me the 2-minute explanation. I have a real estate background, but I missed what you said.
Okay, so the reason why a bird dog has been invented is because after all these years of watching thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching my trainings, reading my books, and like having massive success, right? I have 20,000 people I've helped quit their jobs. 20,000 people I've helped quit their jobs. 20,000 people. I have hundreds of thousands of people that watch my YouTube content. Literally, I think my YouTube channel will get like 5 million views this month, 6 million views this month. That's pretty cool. So why are those people not doing deals? Because they need a more simple approach. They might be a personality that's like, I need it simple. I need it distilled. I need to have less confusion. Can you just tell me the most basic way to get into business? Absolutely. It's called bird dogging, and it removes all of the craziness of everything Eldrica is going through. Okay. Did you hear all the crazy stuff that Eldrica is going through?
Yes.
Cool. Do you want to do that when you first start?
No.
Then you should start with bird dogging. And what you're now asking him is like, well, why do you call it bird dogging? Why can't a bird dog work with multiple buyers? Because you asked me to remove all the confusion. You want a strategy that removes all the confusion, and you only have one person. So you have a son, right?
Yes.
How old's your son?
6.
Okay. At some point, is your son going to start dating?
Yes.
Okay. Should your son date 15 girls at the same exact time?
No,
Why not?
because he's going to be committed to one.
Oh, so you just answered the question for me.
Yes. Well,
Isn't life easier if I just commit to one? I can go deeper into that relationship. I can learn more about that person. I can serve that person a lot better if I just commit to that one person. By the way, for my first deal, you missed yesterday. I did not say, as a bird dog, you only have one buyer. You start with one buyer until you get your first deal.
got you. That's what I was wondering about, because it's
Yeah.
only until you get your first deal. Because I
Right.
have a background in real estate and real estate marketing, and I know a lot of different people, but I've been stay-at-home mom and homeschooler. So as I get back into it and I teach my son, I wanted to see if I could work with multiple buyers. If I have a deal that doesn't fit one buyer's buy box, I could work with multiple eventually.
Eventually, yes. And so, like, a couple of stories I'll tell you today here shortly. I told everybody, I go, if you're going to bird dog for me, I'm the only person you're bird dogging for, because I don't want you confusing yourself. I want you to learn through the process. The purpose of being a bird dog is to simplify the process of getting into the business right out of the gate. It does not require you to cold call, negotiate, go and worry about paperwork. It doesn't require you to do lead management, follow-up, CRMs. In fact, I've got a great question in the side chat by Paul Patricola. Paul, this lunatic who obviously either showed up late or is just teasing me, and he could be just very well teasing me. Paul Patricola, come up here on the side. Let's come on the stage. Let's chat for a second. Paul.
Hey, Pace.
So Paul has a great question in the side chat. What's up, Paul? Paul says, Pace, do you think Deal Sauce is a great software for me to be a bird dog? Nowhere in Deal Sauce can you go get a property that's already under contract. You're pulling lists of sellers and pulling lists of real estate agents. None of those properties are under contract. That would be great software for who?
Wholesalers.
There you go. So it would actually be a horrible software for a bird dog, because a bird dog should not need any software. Literally, I will never push you to get software as a bird dog ever.
Yeah, when you say it that way, that makes sense.
Yes.
100%.
Again, as a bird dog, you are, my friends. So, Elizabeth, you're still unmuted, I believe. A bird dog is the simplest way to get into the business. You're not cold calling. You're not finding foreclosures. You're not door knocking. You're not sending out mailers. You're not negotiating. You're not doing any of the challenging things that is required to be a wholesaler, a fix and flipper, a developer, any of those things. You're not buying and holding. You're literally just finding deals that are already under contract for buyers like me. So I will explain this to you in a couple of stories, especially for the people that maybe have been missed yesterday's training. Okay. So Paul, thank you for the question. Guys, please write that down. Bird dogs should never go get software. You should not have software. If you have not done a deal, and you want to go be a wholesaler, then get software. If you want to go be a buy and holder, get software. If you're like, man, I've tried everything else and I just need something really simple, something that's like almost foolproof. Bird dogging literally costs no money. There's no software. There's no CRM. There's nothing to spend money on. Zero, zilch, nada. Okay. Derek says, do you have multiple bird dogs sending you deals at the same time? Derek, let me ask you a question, my friend. What do you think the answer is, Derek?
Maybe that got misread. So you had mentioned you have multiple people bird dogging for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are these multiple bird dogs in the same area? How do you prevent these bird dogs from sending the same deal to you?
Oh, you don't. Sometimes that does happen. And the way that happens, so I probably have in one specific area, I probably have 50 bird dogs looking for deals for me. And let's say those 50 bird dogs, and I'll go through some metrics with you guys here so you guys can understand the numbers that are behind all of this. Like, how many times do I need to do this? What's the average amount of money I can make? All of that kind of stuff. If I have 50 bird dogs bird dogging for me, I'd say that all of them are going to send me an average of probably 10 deals a month. So that's 500. And out of those 500, I would say that probably 100 of them are duplicates. So 80% of the time, they're not duplicated. They're not sending me more than one address because they're talking to different wholesalers. Believe it or not, you guys have no freaking clue, but there's 500,000 wholesalers in this country. 500,000. We have 2,000 people on here right now, and probably 500 people will take action from it. You literally all could go and get 1,000 wholesalers and never see the same deal. Okay. There are way more deals than you can comprehend in this business. It's bonkers. Is there overlap? Yes. How do I address that? In fact, I'll give you one of the stories today. I'll tell you the answer of this. Maddie, the homeless lady who just did a deal with me like May 27th or something. Yeah, May 27th. So it was probably 5-6 weeks ago. She got her first contract. She sent me an address that was also sent to me 3 other times the same day. But guess who sent me the address first? Maddie. She literally sent it first. So the way I handle that is I always tell bird dogs, I will show you the timestamp. If you send me a deal that somebody else send me, first come, first serve. I will literally give precedence over the person that sent it to me first. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's something that you would include in the conversation during the interview process, like what you had discussed yesterday's training?
Yes, sir.
Copy that. Thank you.
Really great question. Thank you for that. Really, really good question. Okay, so let's go through a story so you guys can understand like the cadence and the technical side of it. And I'm going to give you guys some good metrics, some KPIs. KPI means key performance indicator, which means how many times do I need to do this in order for me to get a deal on average? And if I do this thing, what's the average amount of money that I can make on a deal? Okay, we'll go through that next. Does that sound good for everybody? Some people are like, I have to go to bed. By the way, is this a good time for me to start these? Because we're always guessing like, what's the best time to start? And 5 p.m. my time is 8 p.m. Eastern time. But if I do it early, then West Coast people are still at work. If I do it too late, people on the East Coast are like, people are like, it's perfect. I think most people are going to be like, it's perfect. So we're just going to keep the time. Okay. So let's go through a couple of stories so you guys can see the methodology, how this all kind of plays out. Okay. All right. So let's talk about a deal that was done with me just recently. Okay. A girl named Kelly. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I'll talk about it again today. So there's a seller. Here's the seller. Obviously they have a house. This seller has a water damage that happens to their house. So what they do is this seller goes and calls one of my students. Okay. I have a student named Doug, who is a wholesaler. And Doug sends a lot of mail and a lot of marketing. He spends a lot of money to do his thing. Does like 12, 15 deals every single month. Okay. So Doug goes and gets this property under contract. Sorry, guys, I was using the wrong pen. So Doug goes and gets this property under contract, but Doug is spending a lot of money on marketing to get in front of a lot of these people. Okay. So the seller and Doug go get into a contract, right? This is called the A to B contract. I will give you a copy of these contracts today. Okay. Everybody today gets a copy of these contracts. This is the A to B contract. And then tomorrow, I'm actually going to explain and walk through how to fill out these contracts tomorrow. Okay. So Doug goes and meets with the seller in the living room. This is a property on Mahogany. Let me see if I can pull up the address so you guys can see. Let's see here. Mahogany. I don't know the address off the top of my head. I just know it's Mahogany. Nothing. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. I got to dig this up and pull the address up for my team. This is a house I currently own because obviously I bought the deal, but this is just how this thing all kind of works. Mahogany. Mahogany. Gosh, dang it. Okay, 2994 East Mahogany Place in Chandler. 2994 East Mahogany in Chandler, Arizona. Let me give you guys the link in the side chat. You guys can just go pull it up on Redfin. Okay, there's the Redfin link right there. So this property, 2994, Mahogany. The seller goes through pain, right? This is how we get deals under contract. This is how I teach my students that are wholesalers. I teach them how to go find these opportunities. So Doug goes and spends money. Most wholesalers are spending money to go find these opportunities. This seller had a leak on the house. They got an insurance check. They didn't want to fix it. So they decided, let's just sell it to an investor and get rid of the house. Doug goes in, buys the house, gets it under contract. Okay. Doug got it under contract for $520. Okay. So his contract was $520. I have a student in my community who is a full-time bird dog. Okay. So his name is Matt. And Matt goes to all the other students that are out there looking for deals, and he networks, and he's like, hey, anytime you get a deal under contract, please let me show it to my buyers. Now, Matt does, in Q1 of this year, Matt, and you guys will see a YouTube video coming out about Matt in the next couple of weeks, actually. Matt is a 24-year-old kid. He made $380,000 between January, February, and March, only doing bird dogging, only in Arizona. I'm going to say that again. January, February, and March of this year, Matt, who's 24 years old, only as a bird dog, made $380,000 only in Phoenix, Arizona. Can we get a heck yeah in the side chat that this is like bird dogging is a gangster strategy? Okay. So I taught Matt how to go out and be a bird dog. And Matt has been doing this for a couple of years. In fact, Matt just sent me, you guys want to see what Matt looks like? He just sent me a text message. He got freaking engaged, dude. Here, let me show this to you. And this is cool. I always love this kind of stuff. This is just freaking awesome. Here's Matt. Okay, Matt Justice just got engaged. I tell him every time I see him, I've bought, I don't know, 50 deals from him. And Matt, I tell him every time I see him and his girl, I'm like, bro, marry her right now, dude. What are you doing? Okay. So there's Matt. So Matt goes and talks to Doug and says, hey, anytime you get a deal under contract, let me present it to my buyers. Okay. Now, Matt obviously has more than one buyer. If Matt has more than one buyer, why is that? Didn't I say only have one buyer as a bird dog? Why does Matt have more than one buyer, my friends? Because Matt has a lot of deals. He has done a lot of deals. So he's not over here complaining that his life is confusing. He has done a lot of deals. And so he deserves to have a lot of buyers. Do we all understand that he is not on his first deal? Therefore, it's okay for him to have more than one buyer. Cool. Awesome, 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 awesome. I love that people are getting this in the side chat. Thank you guys so much. This is awesome that you guys are getting it. Okay. Awesome. What would that not make him a dispo wholesaler? No. Dispo wholesaler, all they're doing is blasting out emails and hoping people respond. It's very different. Okay. He's working with a handful of buyers and he's looking for deals specifically for those buyers. Okay. All right. So Matt he says, hey, Doug, I think I can sell this deal for you. Okay. So Matt then sends this deal to a couple of his buyers. His buyers all say no. So no, no, no. And I have a girl on my team. She actually is here in Montana with me right now. We're running an event. Kelly Humbarger. So she's a transaction coordinator. Okay. She joined the portion of my community that does the transactions and the paperwork for the people like Matt and people like me. They do the paperwork for us so we can go out and find deals. They're called transaction coordinators. They make really good money. So Kelly comes to me, she goes, I want to get chunks of money and I want to find deals, but I don't really have a lot of time to learn how to be a wholesaler. What's the best thing for me? I go, be a bird dog. She goes, well, what do I do? And I go, watch my training. So she went and watched the training. She goes, is it really that simple? I go, Kelly, it is so freaking simple. You are going to want to overcomplicate it. And I can train you how to do it in 45 minutes, but you'll want me to train you in 4 days because you'll feel like you're missing information and you're not. It's really that simple. Find people. Now she's in the SubTo community, so it's very easy for her to just find people doing deals. But I said, find people in the SubTo community that are doing deals and just say, hey, I have a really great buyer. If anybody has contracts, please let me know. She goes, there's no way it's that easy. I go, it's truly that easy. Stop overcomplicating it. You're going to try and overcomplicate it. Okay. So let me pull up a picture of Kelly actually at the house in Mahogany. If I can do a little search. Why does this do this to me? This silly thing. My iPad sucks. I use it so much that I melt it. It's just like, please give me a break, basically. Let's go Chandler. Okay, so here's me and Kelly at the house. Okay. I'll pull it up. Just give me a second. This is me and Kelly at the house in Mahogany. This is after she got her first check for $10,000. What I did is I held a meetup here and I let 60 people come to the house and meet me in the garage. And I drew this entire thing out on the garage wall. Okay. So here's how this worked. Matt, who I just showed you, he gets a bunch of no's from his buyers. But Kelly, who just learned from me, she goes, so should I just tell people I want to see their deals? I go, yep. So she's going in the community and she's networking and she runs into Matt. And Matt says, yeah, I have a bunch of deals. I have this one in Chandler. Does your buyer buy in Chandler? Kelly says, yeah, I do. My buyer will buy in Chandler. So what Kelly does is she then sends the address to my team. The person on my team that answers all these emails, her name is Heidi. Heidi gets the email and they try, this is what's funny. So, Doug got the property under contract for $520. He sold it to Matt for $595. So Doug on Mahogany made $75,000 roughly. He deserves to make $75,000 because he's the one that found the deal. He went and negotiated. He spent the money. So once you get into this business a little bit longer and you're ready to get going, you might want to learn how to be Doug because Doug makes bigger checks because Doug does more work. Doug provides more value, right? So Matt sends this deal. He's trying to make like 60 grand on it. He sends it to Kelly. He says, I'll sell it to you guys for $640. Okay. So Kelly literally sends the address. Okay. The address of the property is, again, let me pull it up. The address of the property, wrong one. Gosh dang it, what happened? 2994 East Mahogany. So she literally sends the address to Heidi and she says, 2994 East Mahogany, they'll sell it to you for $640,000. That does not include my fee. Kelly is not saying, I got it from Matt Justice. She's not saying where she got it from. She is literally just texting this. Some buyers want you to email it, but my team at the time was asking the text. Heidi then replied back and said, it's not a deal for us unless we can buy it for $600 and then pay you a $10,000 fee. So if you want, go and see if Matt, or we didn't know who Matt was at the time. You never know who the people involved in the transaction are until the transaction's over. But Heidi replies back to Kelly and says, see if you can ask your supplier if they'll sell it to you for $600. Matt replies back and says, yes, I'll sell it for $600. So here's what happens. Matt, he makes $5,000 bird dogging it to Kelly. Kelly brings it to us and she makes $10,000. Sometimes that's just how it works out. The person who found the deal originally, okay, he made $75,000. And then my team ended up buying it for $610,000 all in. And we currently have it listed for, I think, $985, I think is our price. And after our renovation, I'll make like $75,000. Okay. So Kelly made $10,000. Did she have to cold call? Here, let's do a little test in the side chat. Let's ask you some yes and no questions. Did she have to cold call the seller? Did she have to market to the seller? Did she have to comp the property? Did she have to do the follow-up with the seller, negotiate, lowball? Did she have to spend any money on marketing? Did she have to worry about what the price was? Did she have to go hire contractors, raise money, close the deal, go and fix and flip it, manage contractors, get a permit? Did she have to do any of those things that confuse and overwhelm people? Or did she literally just copy and paste an address and say, hey, Heidi, I can get this property at $640, not including my fee for finding it. What would you buy it at? Did Kelly get coached on what price was the appropriate price? Yes or no? Okay. So you're telling me that if you save your buyer a bunch of time and you go provide some value, you can make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. And in the process, you can get coached. So here's the part that I got to tell you. So Kelly did not get a yes immediately. She sent us 1 house, 2 house, 3 house, 4 house, 5, 6, 7, and 8. She got a no, but on all of these. Okay. No, but would be, no, that's not a good price for us, but we would buy it at this price. So imagine being a bird dog. You didn't have to cold call. You didn't have to do any of those things. And then you're getting a buyer that's coaching you along going, hey, I like the house, I like the area, but the price is a little bit high, and here's why. Then, after your buyer buys the property, you get to stop by the property and see what finishes they're doing and what grout they're doing and what landscape they're doing and how fast they're doing the project. Then you get to ask them the question of like, wait, hold on a second. I just got educated on where you got your money, how you manage your contractor, and I got paid for literally just copying and pasting stuff? Yes, there's been actually the homeless lady that got her first deal with me. There were 3 bird dogs involved in the same transaction. Okay. So how many people feel like bird dogging is like the thing that I need? I need to just focus on one buyer. I don't want a cold call. I don't have a lot of time. And honestly, I'm stressed out thinking about all the things I have to learn. I'd love to get paid to learn on the job. Okay. Do we all understand why I gave you a 16,000 person buyers list? Do you understand why that's so valuable now that you understand that you start with one buyer in your local area? Okay. Now it's 8 o'clock here in Montana, but tomorrow I'll probably call a couple of buyers for you and show you how to do this. I was planning on doing it today, but I had to catch a lot of people up. Okay. Do we understand why me giving you a bunch of wholesalers, people like Matt or people like Doug, if I give you a lot of wholesalers in the country, why that provides a lot of value to you as well? Yes or no? Cool. Now, pretty simple, right? In fact, you will try and overcomplicate this. So let me explain that part to you as well. So I love doing meetups. I love meeting people in person. It's part of my personality. I just love people. I love helping people. I love talking about this business. I feel like every day that I've been in this business has been like a vacation from me being a contractor, which is what I was before I jumped into this business. So with Kelly, I text Kelly. I love her. She's one of my good friends now. We've done a bunch of deals together. I told Kelly, I said, hey, Kelly, let's do a meetup at Mahogany and let's invite a bunch of the SubTo members, the people that are in our community, and let's show them how simple this transaction was. And let's break it all down on a whiteboard in person. And you can do some Q&A because some people want to listen to me because I can communicate it better than most and I can keep people entertained, but they're going to be like, oh, he's selling me on how easy this is. And of course, Pace is going to say it's easy. It'd be really nice if you were at this meetup with me. So she says, okay, great. By the way, this is like maybe March of this year, I think. So a couple months ago. So here's the meetup. Does everybody see this nice black lady with dreads and she's got her phone on record? Do you guys all see this lady right here on the screen? Cool. So this girl, her name is Daje. Okay. By the way, how many people would like to go to a meetup like this where you actually go to the property that I bought? It's not just a YouTube video. You could actually go to the meetup. You could actually see how this all works, right? I feel like it adds a lot of gravity to the situation, right? So these are all SubTo members. I kept this private to only SubTo members. There's Jared Morrison. He just bought his 3rd assisted living facility. All these guys, a lot of these people are just crushing it. Cool. So my meetups, families are welcome, all that kind of stuff, which is cool. So Dajay, who had just joined the community, like maybe a week or two before this, she, of course, this is at the meetup. She says, "Can I get a photo of you? Can we get a photo?" Of course. Then she starts asking me questions. So here's the photo of Dajay. And this leads into my next story. Okay. So this is Dajay right here. So Dajay meets me for the first time at this property. Okay, this is back. Okay, it's February 8th. Sorry, I thought it was March. It's February 8th of this year, as you guys can see right here. So she meets me in person and she says, "Pace, there's no way it's this simple. Like, what are we missing?" I go, "No, it's really that simple." I said, "Well, the problem is Kelly really stuck to my buy box. She didn't send me multifamily deals. She didn't send me stuff. She sent me exactly what I was asking for. Every house was overpriced. That's not my problem. I don't care if if it's overpriced. I'll coach you and tell you, here's the price I'll pay. But I don't want you sending me stuff in, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, when I'm not buying in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We have members in SubTo that are buying there, but I'm not buying there. I can't buy everywhere. I can't fix and flip houses everywhere. That's not a sound business model. I only buy where my crews are located, right?" So I tell her, "Go and talk to Kelly." So she goes and talks to Kelly, who obviously is in the SubTo community. And you can see Kelly in this photo getting swarmed by everybody going, "There's no way it's this easy, Kelly. Is it really that easy?" And she goes, no, it really is. Let me help you guys. So Dajay, she goes, "Okay, I think I can do this." So how many houses did it take for Kelly to get her first bird dog deal with me? How many houses? Okay, it took her 8. Okay, we talked about this. I'm just testing your memory. If you can remember, I wrote it right down here. Some of you people smoking weed or whatever you're doing are saying 10 in the side chat, you lunatics. Okay. Now for Dajay, same thing. She goes inside the SubTo community. She finds a wholesaler. That wholesaler sends her multiple deals. Okay, this is Dajay. It took her 6 houses. Took her 6 houses for me to give her a yes. I gave her 5 no buts. No, I say, yes, I like the price, but no, because yes, the house is great, but we're not buying it because the price is overdone. So Dajay goes and does her first deal. And that first deal was we're about to list that property. We're about to finish. I think the house is done. Dajay, are you in here today? Give me a yes if you're in the side chat. Oh, Dajay's here. Awesome. Cool. That's cool. Thank you, Dajay. I didn't know you were going to be in here today. She is a SubTo member. So of course, this is not a training only for SubTo members. This is a training primarily for other people. Dajay, what up, homie? How you doing? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
There you are. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. There
Okay, so
go.
Dajay, when you first met Kelly and you met me at the house in Mahogany, were you like, "There's no way it's this simple"?
Yeah, I definitely said that a few times.
Then you copied and pasted how many houses before you got a deal to my team?
6 houses. Yeah.
6 houses. How fast did we close? We said yes to the deal. How fast did you get a check?
In a week.
Okay, so everybody's going to ask, how fast can this be done? It can be done in a week. Now, can I tell you guys what Dajay did wrong? So this is what Dajay did wrong. Immediately she gets this deal. She gets her check. She's like, "Holy crap, I just got my first deal." You know what she started doing? She started going and trying becoming a wholesaler right out of the gate. And all of a sudden, and then what did you do? "I got to go back to basics."
Yep. When I saw you when you was training Maddie,
Yep.
and I was like, "Pace, like, I don't know, maybe I told you, I said, 'Hey, Pace, I thought I needed to do more.'"
Yeah, but it was really simple. I think you went and did a couple more deals right after that, right?
Yeah, I did. I just finished up my 3rd deal. So yeah.
Boom. Freaking amazing. Just in a couple of months. That's awesome. And Dajay, how much real estate experience did you have before you joined the SubTo community?
None.
And what were you doing? What are you doing for a job? You're a truck driver, right?
Yes.
And
shout
how
out
old
to all the truckers.
That's right. Those mother truckers. Dajay, you come from a family, I think you take care of your siblings. Is that correct?
Yeah, I grew up with a single mom, and I have younger siblings. She eventually got married, but since I was the oldest, because my mom had me as a teenager, I had to watch my siblings a lot.
Love
So
it. And so you don't have a lot of extra time, correct?
no.
Okay, awesome. So guys, give Dajé some freaking love. By the way, she did get derailed. This is what happens with a lot of people that do bird dog. It's so simple that they get their first check and they go, let me overcomplicate it. And she went and overcomplicated it, correct?
Yes.
Then you went back to basics and you went back and you did a couple of deals. You just wrapped up your third one.
Yeah. Take Pace's advice. Stick to he told me that I broke the rules, that I broke a rule. He told me, he took my name and he said I dodged.
Yeah, I was like, we were in a room training Maddie, our homeless friend, and Dajé, I told everybody in the SubTo community, I go, hey, if you guys want to hang out, I'm going to train Dajé in the office. Dajé came in, I was like, Dajé started dodging all of her responsibility on bird dogging. She's dodged the strategy and she tried to overcomplicate it. And then you were like, lowered your head. You're like, oh my gosh, you're so right.
Yeah, I remember that. I sat in the back and you were like, get up here.
Yeah, I picked on you. Because I'm a good big brother,
You
and
are.
I will love on you and give you a little nudge a little bit to get you back on track.
Yeah, but you giving me that advice allowed me to go back and be like, hey, there's nothing wrong with keeping it simple for a little bit longer. And like you told me, don't throw out, you gave me an analogy of like Dairy Queen. And you said, don't throw out the ice cream, just add to the menu. And I tried to throw out bird dogging completely. That's where I got started.
Okay, so what she was talking about, guys, is like, here's what she did is like, she made her first deal on bird dogging, right? She then sees a lot of people in the community making 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, $100,000 deals. Like we have community members. I have a community member made 600 grand on one deal a couple of months ago. And so you can get FOMO really fast, right? So think about this. Dairy Queen, when they started with ice cream. They then started looking at like other hamburger spots going, man, people are eating your hamburgers and then coming over to me just for the stupid ice cream. What if I started selling hamburgers so that they could eat here and have their dessert? Did Dairy Queen shut down their ice cream shop that was making them money to focus on hamburgers, or did they just add to the menu? Of course, they added to the menu. So this is what Dajé did. Dajé basically was like, oh, there's wholesalers in the community making a lot of money selling hamburgers. Let me shut down my ice cream shop, which is bird dogging, just to focus on hamburgers. That just takes a lot more time. You got to grill the meat. You got to find the quality meat. You got to chop the onions. There's more work involved in wholesaling than there is in bird dogging. So I had to remind Dajé, I said, Dajé, get the ice cream shop back up and running. Do your bird dogging on the side while you're also doing wholesaling. And so that's what she went back to doing. And voila, went back and did 2 deals.
Yeah. So I'm happy I went to that. I needed more inspiration. I feel like, again, in seeing you again, you going over the steps with Maddie, telling her, hey, follow the plan, don't dodge it like I did. And obviously we're all to everybody in the chat, you're all going to experience that. It's not about whether or not, it's just about going back to what you started in and not, don't beat yourself up about it. Just get back to it. After he told me that, I was like, okay, let me get back to it. And yeah, closed another deal. And I actually almost had another deal with you, Pace, but you guys ended up turning that one down just because there was a little bit more issues with it, but everything else checked the box.
Oh, Heidi went and like sent Chaba to the house and we found there was too much construction or something.
Just too many underlying problems with the property, but it fits your buy box and stuff. So for everybody out there trying to bird dog, really focus on the buy box and what the buyers want. The buyers want. Like, don't derail, don't send them deals in different states and stuff. Focus on what they want and you will close more deals.
I get so much crap sent to me that are like outside of my buy box. And then they're like, why is your team not replying? I'm like, bro, come on. And look, here's the cool thing, like being part of the community. On your first deal, Kelly helped you. And then you also had a member of SubTo out of California help you through your first deal, which is awesome. I imagine all of your deals that you've done so far are with SubTo community members. Is that correct?
Yeah. this last most recent deal, I didn't. That was all like that. Remember the last meetup we went to? I don't know what it is about the meetups. I found another buyer at the meetup for
Christian?
Maddie's house. Eric.
Eric, okay.
Yeah, the Christian investor. And I found another buyer there, literally going to Maddie's house and just seeing her close her first deal.
Yeah,
So,
Eric, the Christian investor, and his partner are in SubTo. His partner spends most of the time in SubTo.
oh, they are? I didn't even know. Well, there
Yeah,
you go.
they're a partnership. So his partnership is under his partner's name, and he's like attached to it.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, heck yeah, dude. That meetup was freaking awesome. It was hot.
It was hot.
It was like 110 degrees, but we all wanted to meet Maddie at the house and congratulate her. It was really freaking cool.
Yeah.
But again, here's what Dajé did really well. I'm a buyer for her. She did her first deal with a buyer, not multiple buyers, one buyer. She focused on one buyer till she got a deal. Then she went to another SubTo meetup, met another buyer and said, okay, Pace isn't buying all the deals that I'm now are being sent to me. And so I need more buyers, and I can handle more buyers at the same time because now I've gone through the motions. So you're doing it exactly the way you need to do it, which is now add more buyers and add more suppliers over time, rather than go, let me just stack up with suppliers and stack up with buyers and confuse the heck out of myself. You kept it simple, which was really smart.
Yeah, definitely don't do that in the beginning as a newbie because it will overwhelm you. And yeah, you were amazing. You was an amazing first buyer. Like I couldn't have had a better first buyer. You made everything.
I just want to do deals with you, Dajé. So are you and I going to do every deal together? No.
No.
What I found in SubTo, this is interesting. So our community did $10 billion in transactions last year. I was involved in 100 million of them, which is 1%. So 99% of the deals that are being exchanged and done inside of our community, I'm not involved in. That's how it's supposed to be done. We're all a community doing deals. And if I can touch 1% of those deals, that's $100 million in transactions at 1%. And so you're going to do 2 or 3 deals a year with me for the rest of your life, but you're going to do 30, 40, 50 deals a year with other people in the community for the rest of your life. I'll be like one buyer, and you're just doing a great job, dude. Super proud of you.
Thank you so much. Oh, and really quick, those are not dreads. Those are twisties.
I don't know. You got to teach me something.
I'm teaching you the slang from the
What do you
black
call it?
side.
Twisty?
It is twisties. It is not dreads.
Okay. You met Trevon, right?
You said what?
You met Trevon, the camera guy, right?
Yeah, I did. Those are dreads.
Those are, gosh, damn it. How do I know the difference?
Mine are undoable. His isn't. It's not easily.
Okay. I do know the difference between those.
So, because when you saw me at Maddie's house, I had my poof out. So
you did have your poof out. Yeah.
Yeah. So those.
Okay, cool. So twisties are undoable and dreads are like, you got to cut them out.
Yeah. Most of the time. Yeah. So, but that, to give you your like black card or something on the side.
Guys, can you guys give Dajé a bunch of love in the side chat? Dajé, as your big brother, I love you. I'm super proud of you. Keep going. I know your mom's super proud of you too, right?
She is. She's bragging about me to everybody on Facebook and all that. I post us on my Facebook page, so I got a lot of love. So thank you, from me to you, from my family and stuff. Like, thank you so much. You've definitely changed my life, and joining the SubTo community, like for the people who's contemplating on joining it, that was the best decision I've ever made in my life.
Thank you, dude. But here's the thing. You took a lot of action. I'm super proud of you guys. Dajé, give her a bunch of love. Thank you, Dajé. Okay, so here's what's cool. So Dajé does this deal, right? What happened with Dajé, let's see, on that deal, Dajé got that from a wholesaler. She brought it to my team. She sent us 6 addresses. We said no to 5, said yes to the 6th. And she'll just keep sending me deals, and I will say no on average. So please pay attention to this. Here's the average amount of properties you're going to send over to people. Okay. The average amount of properties you're going to send before you get a deal. By the way, these properties are not houses you're contracting, right? Dajé made money off a deal that was already contracted. Okay. The average amount of times I say no to a first time bird dog is I say no 29 times. And I say yes 1 time. Now, why? The number one reason why, okay. No, somebody says, no, you said 30. That equals 30, guys. 29 plus 1 equals 30. What are you talking about? Come on, do that math. So that's the average, okay? Now, why is that so high compared to like Dajé and Kelly? It's because people typically send me properties that are not in my buy box. Happens all the time. Or they send me stuff with no context. My team's like, dude, I think about my team, okay? I only do deals with SubTo members. So the buyers list that I gave you guys will help you out. If you're not in SubTo, I only do deals inside of our community. There's so many people to do deals with. There's no reason for me to go outside of it. So I won't give you guys my email or the way to contact me because you already got buyers list. I already gave that to you. But what happens is people that are new to bird dogging is like, oh, that's a great deal. Let me send it over to Pace. It's like, it's not in my buy box. We're not buying $1 million homes. We're not buying fourplexes to flip. We're buying what we're buying, and that's on my buy box. It's very clear. So the more you break that simple rule, the higher that number is. And so Dajé was 6, Kelly was 8. Why? Why was Dajé 6 and Kelly was 8? Why? Because they followed the buy box. Okay. So tomorrow in the training, we're going to call some buyers. Today, by the way, how many people were here for the first call that I made at the very beginning? And they were like, holy crap, that was such a great call. That call derailed everything I was planning on doing, but it was very impromptu. And I think it was really timely for people to see exactly what was not a bird dog deal. If your buyer is having to make the calls for you and your buyer's negotiating and doing all of those things, that's obviously not a bird dog deal. Okay. So I changed up the training today. And so I pushed a couple of things I plan on doing today over to tomorrow. Okay. So a couple of things does everybody now know what a bird dog is? Now, the average deal you're going to make on a bird dog deal, the lowest I've seen is $5,000. The highest I've seen is 60 that I've paid. I paid $60,000 because it was a bigger property. But I'd say the average bird dog deal that you're going to see is you're going to make about $15,000. 15 grand. That's the average deal. Who comes up with that? That's a great question, Mauricio. We'll talk about that tomorrow because what we're going to talk about primarily tomorrow is identifying buyers and how to communicate and set the tone with your buyer that you're going to build a relationship with. Okay. Abraham says, no, I made 2,500. Abraham, you should say, heck yeah, dude, I got a deal and I made 2,500. Okay. How do we negotiate our fee? We'll talk about that tomorrow. Jose Reyes, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Identifying the buyer, setting the tone with the buyer, agreeing to the terms in the schedule. So for me, every buyer is going to be different. We talked about this yesterday. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. We all agreed to that, correct? So tomorrow, what we'll do is I will call a couple of buyers. I will negotiate some communication, and I will show you guys how to set up these relationships. And then what we'll do is on Thursday, I'll show you guys how to get your first deal. Okay, that will be the main focus on Thursday. Tomorrow, we'll focus on finding buyers. But at the very beginning, I'm going to show you guys how to fill out the contracts and the agreements. So what we want to do today, I think Carly sent me over the contracts. I think. For those of you guys that keep asking about the buyers list that we promised you guys, we've given it out like 100 times. Oh, that's Redfin. Hey, Carly, would you do me a favor and put in the buyers list one more time, the 16,000 buyers? Okay, by the way, guys, if you are in the free Facebook group, do me a favor. Your favorite part of the training today, help me get better at what I do. Help me get better at the flow and educating and loving on everybody. Go into the free Facebook group, Creative Finance with Pace Morby, and do me a favor. Go in there and say, here's my favorite part of the training. Take a screenshot of me, take a screenshot of the comments, take a screenshot of something and go into the free Facebook group and go, my favorite part of the training was when Pace broke down this. My favorite part of the training is when I learned this. I really like this part. I really love that I can do X, Y, and Z. You'll be able to network and find SubTo members inside of that free Facebook group. About 10% of the members in the free Facebook group are SubTo members. Okay, about 10%. 90% are they've never paid me $1. They've never been part of my community. They've never been. So like 90% are new people, 10% of experience. The more you post, the more you'll find the experienced people. Okay. And in the free Facebook group. Carly says she sent me a text message. Thank you. Oh, wow. Saravi's on here today? Is Saravi hanging with me today? Oh my gosh. I haven't talked to her in a bit. Saravi, what's up, homie?
Pace, I'm at a coffee shop.
Are you spying on me right now?
Yeah, I'm always spying on you.
I adore you, dude. Thank you, guys. Will everybody? I'm going to unleash the chat for a second. Can everybody give some love to Saravi? She's the one that spent the $4,000 on the buyers list that we gave. Can everybody say thank you to Saravi? Dude, it's 8 o'clock here, which means it's 7 o'clock there. You are hanging out in a coffee shop, hanging out with me at 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Okay. I think Saravi might be on a date. I don't know. Saravi, you're the best. Thank you so much. Carly, you sent me the contracts. Let's give that up today. Thank you, Gosh, Carly, you're the best. Man, we're like we're doing a good job on these landing pages. Oh, this is great. Get Pace Morby's real estate contract back. Okay, this is dope. Sick. This is new. Okay, guys, we are going to pause the side chat. And I'm going to give you guys the contracts. These contracts, every time we update these, it's a cash purchase contract, a JV or a bird dog contract, and an assignment contract. We will talk about these first thing tomorrow in the training. Okay, first thing tomorrow, we'll talk about these. And I'll show you how to fill them out. We'll do a bunch of Q&A, and then we'll go into the buyer session of how to find buyers, how to set up an agreement with buyers, all of that. Okay, here is the contracts. This contract pack, okay, pacescontracts.com, costs us about $5,000 every quarter to refresh these with an attorney. So again, please let my team know anytime you're communicating with anybody on my team, just say thank you. Like, attitude of gratitude opens up more doors than anything else on the planet. Okay. And tomorrow, what did I promise I was going to give you guys tomorrow? Oh, wholesaler list. I'm going to give you guys a wholesaler list tomorrow. First 5 minutes of the session, we'll give you guys a wholesaler list. We'll jump into the contracts. I'll show you how to fill out the contracts. Then what we'll do is we'll jump into the buyer section. I'll show you how to communicate with the buyers. I'll give you guys scripts. I'll show you how to do it. And then I'll explain to you guys how to set up the agreement, the fees, all of that kind of stuff with the buyers, people just like me. How many people enjoyed yesterday and how many people enjoyed today? Give me some love in the side chat. Awesome. 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 Just so you guys know, I do a 4-day training every single month. It's different every month, a different topic, a different flow. I love doing this. I love loving on people. I love seeing people go, I was in your free challenge. I ended up doing X, Y, and Z. And now they're off doing big things. I love seeing that. Okay. So tomorrow we'll be back at the exact same time, 5 p.m. Arizona time. In the first couple of minutes tomorrow, I will be giving you guys the wholesaler list. So 1,200 wholesalers that you can get deals sent to you from. The people that are spending tons of money on radio, PPC, Facebook ads, door knocking, all the things that they're spending money on to get contracts that they can send over to you so you can send them over to your buyers. We will be giving that away to you guys first thing tomorrow in the first 5 minutes. Thank you guys for sticking around. I'm going to pause the side chat, give you guys the contracts one more time. It's in the side chat. You can also go to pacemorby.com/bird dog. Awesome. Or pacescontracts.com, I think is what it's called. Pacescontracts.com. Boom. Okay. Pacescontracts.com. My team just built that. That's freaking awesome. Thank you, Carly. Thank you, Saravi. We adore you. We appreciate you. Guys, we will see you back here tomorrow for day number 3. We're going to get nitty gritty and we're going to get into talking to buyers, all of that stuff. Thank you. Thank you guys for showing up and giving us love. Everybody that's on YouTube, just so you guys know, you can always jump into the Zooms. We usually will put the tag in the YouTube link right at the very beginning. You guys can jump into the Zoom. The Zoom is way better. There's 2,000 plus people over in the Zoom. It's way better than YouTube. But I do YouTube for Maddie, my homeless friend, because her phone does not allow her to be on Zoom. Something with the government Obama phones. Okay. We will see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Arizona time. We will be here a little bit longer tomorrow, probably closer to 3, maybe 3.5 hours. And that will lead us into Thursday, the final day of the Bird Dog Challenge. Thank you.